So, previously in Eridon, the five of you, the Forsaken Winds, now ranking members of the United Kin Army and the army itself, uh, had recouped and began planning and preparing after your intel from your successes in Olandris. You guys have been able to utilize the entire first month of this new year, Morningstar, to plan and prepare for the army's next move. Select the units you're going to command in battle and get ready to march. You pursued various activities over this month, some crafting, shopping, training, and working on morale for some of the troops that you're leading. And it is now currently Lordas, or Saturday, the first of Sun's Dawn, functionally February 1st, as you and your units, alongside General Mathros and his unit of Selethar soldiers, begin to march westward into Creatia. To
What
pass
session number?
Olandris,
82.
82. The intent here is to pass through the territories of Olandris and then Atheros from the south in an attempt to eventually reach and sabotage the Durastian war camps to the west of Atheros that are help supplying soldiers, reinforcements, actual supplies, cargo, weapons, etc. to the western siege effort. The thought here is that if we can disrupt the west and north siege attack effort and disrupt their supplies, and as well as Magnus, who you know to be commanding from Olandris, sabotaging the east, you guys have a good opportunity to reinforce, seize Atheros as a piece for your army in the war, potentially forcing Durast to retreat.
Somebody was arguing with me or Telperion, I don't remember who, about why it wasn't best to go straight for the throw. Is it because Magnus had suggested we could or should maybe think about letting the Queen deal in Atheros and then put our focus on, because that's where the Durastians are focusing. I don't remember if it's a party player or an NPC who says, no, there's a reason we shouldn't go for Ostennis, and here's it. I can probably check my notes, but does anyone remember
I
that?
believe, unless you guys remember and want to jump in with a reason, I believe that the NPC that delivered a reason why was Dinah.
And okay.
And it was functionally a warning, not a dissuasion entirely, but a warning that Ostennis is the most heavily reinforced, the most heavily patrolled. The Talons occupy that space more often. The king himself checks in on that location from time to time, and that would be a much riskier maneuver at this time and likely be a much higher stake to your lives. You guys might fail that endeavor without the backing of the United Kin Army with you. So it was going to be a very dangerous effort, and that was the warning given. Doesn't mean it couldn't be possible, but
I feel like the next step would be a better opportunity to do like a surprise attack. Like if we take Atheros here, they're gonna think that we're gonna go to Ostennis next, right? And that might be an opportunity to do a sneak attack from a different direction.
Sure. Valid consideration for next planning session. But for now, you all set out, and the march begins. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of soldiers, Selethar elves, warriors of the Ithilwinge Mooncrest elves, beast folk, bird folk, and some scale folk of various Chimeran territories, and some humanoid populations as For's Hollow, Nora mercenary individuals, maybe a couple wood elves that have been able to lend their services. You guys have a very diverse set of troops. Probably over 1,000, I would say probably easily over 1,000 troops about to march out from For's Hollow this morning. Half due west and half northwest. And I'll pull up the map here as a reminder of planned trajectories. And Mathros, Telperion's father and the general of the Selethar troops, will remind you all of the generally planned trajectory as Rillis, High Commander Rillis Aarakocra, and Dinah lead their forces, those two generals, around the northwestern effort in this green dashed line. Your forces are the yellow dashed line, with the yellow circles representing generally how far you're hoping to march in a given day. An army can march about 20 miles in a day, and it's going to take some time, almost 10 days or so, or more if weather is hindering, to reach the western camps of Atheros.
And the northwest is going to Cardigan's, or going through Cardigan's south to Atheros.
Correct. The orange squares are representing locations where conflict is not only possible, but very likely intended. You're going to have to capture locations along the way, and red are functionally areas that the army wants to avoid at all cost. There's no use or value in getting too close to Elandris right now. You want to avoid Senek as well as the Eastern War Camp near Atheros and the actual 3 siege fronts of Atheros. So the goal here is to sort of cut off the siege front supply lines by taking several of these orange situations. And the Northwest group is going to have to go through Cardigan Post. Number one, for ease of terrain traversal, but also disrupting that flow of metal work to the siege lines that flows through Cardigan Post mines will be very beneficial.
Is there a reason why we didn't want to go through the Emerin and kind of sneak around Senek from the south instead?
Other than the fact that that would very likely slow trajectory, the Selethar would probably be able to nicely march, but the Noras and even Beast Folk, maybe even Bird Folk, would have a hard time marching through forest terrain. So there's a degree of, sometimes, even if it's the obvious strategy, taking sort of paved highways and thoroughfares through the countryside is still a more opportune strategy if it gets you to where you're going faster.
Another question is, are we worried about like stealth at all, or is our army like gonna be spotted by the enemy no matter what we try?
I think that's a great question, and you would sort of instinctively suspect, and Mathros will confirm, that as you guys pass near red marked territories, certainly you will want to keep a low profile. Elandris, since it's being commanded by an undercover ally, might have a lower DC to achieve something like that. But Senek and maybe nearby Atheros encampments might be a little harder, and you will want to keep a low profile. And even if you're on the map going close to a territory, that's still like, these yellow circles are 20 miles apart from each other, for example. So it just kind of emphasizes the fact that scouting regiments might only have a certain radius they can defend and report back to hometowns and such. So I feel like I finished a thought and you said flip or switch or something. I feel like that did just enough to not make it hurt.
I still love how much that last week's was the hardest hitting one so far.
What was I in the middle of saying to someone?
Talking to me, but I don't remember about what.
About stealth, about how sneaky we needed to be. And I think you're saying that like the idea is that we are trying to move well, disguising like larger troop movement.
Yes, definitely. And certainly skirting around the borders of the forest will help accomplish that. But Senek is a unique location that is definitely occupied by Duras that you will likely not want to sneak around the forest, because that'll push you too close to the territory of that city. And you'll need to instead, as was mentioned previously, probably pass through the Cenetian Pass, which is a very sort of brief but shallow chasm structure with an old fort stronghold that existed there that Durast has likely occupied in defensive measures. And it was suggested that by Maethros, we're going to have to go through that. Just for ease of time.
And then combat, worth noting before the session even really gets going. If we go commander v commander, just to put it bluntly, mobility doesn't really matter that much. Like there's certain also effects that last for only a minute.
If we are counting that round of combat.
Only affect that round. So all of us should keep that in mind when we're picking spells or I'm picking items that tunable, and I'm like, well, I probably don't need my boots of Boost and Blaze because that spell lasts for 1 minute and the buff is just negligible.
You could deal an additional d6 of damage that way, but yes, you get that once because commander v commander combat is sort of a very theater of the mind, cinematic, imaginative space, and is different than normal combat, but still allows you guys to flex your weapons spell casting against an enemy for sure.
And Telperion, your tactician, is reminding everyone to be mindful of it's 1v1. So things that give you resistance or things that protect you in a way that's a little more long lasting is more meaningful than when we're on the battlefield and you can skirt somewhere else because X or Y happened and you can do something when it's 1v1, initiative is incredibly important. When you ever see two characters going one against each other, who goes first has a huge impact on how the whole thing flows. So just keep in mind the different things that we use in sessions all the time that are totally not helpful or maybe way more impactful now.
Sorry.
Well, it's 1v1 at least until additional units can come to aid and also jump in their commander as well. But the same works against you too. Enemy units can do that same thing to you guys as commander. So.
Well, and just like Rome, I'm thinking about low AC uses hide. Hide in this context doesn't work. So I'm just thinking
true.
It's a very different. Telperion will be reminding you as a tactician. We're doing a very different way of fighting. So my personal example is I'm taking off the boots and I'm going to use the 2 items that buff my AC by 1 each, because having a high AC in this scenario generally will protect me more than my mobility, which otherwise protects me a lot.
So the way it works is if two armies attack the same army, then it would be a 2v1 then for 1 round.
Kind of, as long as the
1 round and then a second round.
As long as the victim unit is at the HP threshold of 50% or less that facilitates the commander attacks in the first place, then yes, any subsequent units that attack that unit, their commander gets a round against that commander.
Mm-hmm. And then also, are we worried that Vitria is going to be literally leading one of the armies that we're fighting against? Is that the idea?
In theory, that could be a variable. It is suggested that Talon Vitria seems like a likely candidate for supplementing the Mersenia westward effort that Coda left in a void. So you think she is a powerful person that is at play in Durast's machinations, whether that's holding up in a fort somewhere or leading troops. You don't necessarily know that at this time.
I'm trying to remember her from when we fought her earlier. Was she the one that summoned the spider and the scorpion?
No, so that was
You killed her.
That was the Hellfiend Oni that you guys have slain. The Oni was the one who was from beneath the Ebon-clad, in the guise of Kari, the Dusk, who you guys defeated her, made her flee. She summoned the spider and scorpion. Then you went up to the Prism Palace assault in the ballroom. Vitria is the green-scaled dragonborn woman who was a Talon.
She's the one who fucked up the fan. She launched her
That's true.
Thing through the fan to break it or something.
Yes, she has Kratos God of War style chain blades.
Yeah.
All right, I was thinking of the wrong battle this whole time. Okay, I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, Vitria is. I can't show a picture right now, but Vitria is the green-scaled dragonborn individual who you guys have fought before, and Maethros, General Maethros, Telperion's father, allegedly took the arm off of.
Yeah. Yep.
Allegedly or actually?
Well, per his accounting of events. But it was recently mentioned by, I believe, Kari in Force Hollow that some sort of shadowy magic has replaced that appendage with a large, heavy, gaseous, shadowy claw that seems to imbue some power in her by her patron.
I'm gonna dispel it.
Christopher, will you remind me of shield donning, doffing?
So, the
messing
march
with
begins, and you all set out for what you expect to be at least a 10-day journey. In order to synchronize you all's attacks, you have a couple days of flexibility in there. For the synchronized attacks of the north and westward war camp will happen in 14 days' time. In the meantime, you begin marching. I would like to have one of you guys can choose, and then we'll rotate. Kick off this day with rolling a d10 for me.
Not me.
Not me, he says.
I'll do it.
All right, Rome.
D10 said.
Yes, d10.
Eaton.
Two.
I feel like 7's a good number.
7 is a pretty good number. Snow continues to occasionally, intermittently fall, but not in a way that hinders travel at all. And in general, although cloudy and gray, the skies are fairly clear. And the first day of travel goes pretty successfully. Are there any things, I'm going to instigate some things periodically, but are there any things you guys want to be doing as your units march out together? Mathros is leading a unit of 225 Selethar, and then you guys have your various units as well.
To make up for the fact that I don't have wings, I'm in a bit of a bonding exercise, but also crafting testing. I have like a what the hell is it called? Early concept, proof of concept version of what is that called? What's that word?
Proof of concept, prototype.
Prototype. I have a prototype of the thing I'm working on, and I'm just going to be like working on speed tactics, like swooping tactics, and I'm just literally just going to be like launching things to like try and make the troops work together to catch them in groups. Yeah, basically like catapult toss.
Yeah,
with
training exercises. Very
essentially.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do the others in our group catch a glimpse of your prototype at work?
Probably, but it doesn't really look any different than just like me casting catapult on rocks going through. It just like it looks like a weird device on top of my hand.
Okay.
Cornucopial in shape.
Very cool. Anyone else want to flavor or mechanically tackle anything of interest to them as we move forward? Rome, as a note also, as long as it was within your intent, Wild Sage Blossom is accompanying the army and your unit specifically.
Yes, I was going to say that earlier, so thank you for reminding me. And also, since it's snowing, during one of the like longer short rests, Rome is going to be taking the Arctic Circle.
Oh,
Oh, very cool. Arctic Circle. Okay.
So nice.
Can we retroactively RP that I bought 100 gold worth of charcoal from Mirage so I can cast Find Familiar?
Charcoal, yeah, that's especially since it's so within the arcane arsenal.
Yeah, it's charcoal
stuff,
and
he would
scents
have
or
that.
and herbs. So I think it's just, I mean, like that's super basic component pouch, I think.
I'm also just
Yeah.
imagining Telperion going around like camp, just like stomping out like fires that they're cooking with and taking the charge.
Yeah,
Nice.
he will just. I flavor this sometimes for Toby as well, just since having a ton of incense is kind of unwieldy and not cool. Mirage will facilitate for you a couple small pouches of very potent, like ash elemental remains of charcoal. So it's not like 100 gold worth of basic ass charcoal that would probably be bags and bags of charcoal, but it's like a couple small pouches of very arcanely potent material.
So 10 platinum, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm just gonna get myself 9 packs of that because I'll use one today to cast it. So I just have
Okay.
9 casts of Find Familiar.
Perfect. All right, so back to Rome. What are you working on as Wild Sage Blossom sort of follows you and your fauna followers?
I am. So I'm gonna be using, I guess, my army, but maybe more so like Wild Sage Blossom to commune with nature to attempt to find a scorpion.
A
Along our
single scorpion?
A single scorpion. I mean, if I could find more than one scorpion, honestly, that would be even better. Like a little family of scorpions. And prior to this, I have asked Roulette to like produce a little jar for me, so I can keep them.
You need a scorpion tail because I got one. I never used it.
No, it has to be alive, Telperion.
Well, with the use of Commune with Nature, very powerful spell, I'll say no check required. You can, although it's winter and not necessarily a territory suitable for extensive scorpion life, that might be more possible.
Magical realm.
Yeah, more possible in Chimeras. You still are able to gather a single
I'll give
scorpion
a
along
regular
your journey.
Gotta be an ice
imagine
scorpion.
that
I'll
Rome
put
like
my loaf component.
Got like an icicle tail.
it's got an ice
Give it a
tail and
regular
like
jar.
dug it up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like had been hibernating and she dug it up to like reawaken it.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
Thematic, you know?
Yeah.
And she whispers it like, you will, tales will be told of you.
Oh,
I
Tells
love
your
this.
tail.
Of your tail, like
It skitters around in the little jar you have available for it.
Hitter.
Perfect. Anyone else doing anything specific as the march begins?
Jury's just gonna be telling stories. That's like his main thing, is just listening to the camp followers, telling stories, trying to perform and provide entertainment for the troops to keep the entire morale high amongst everyone.
Very cool. The Selethar specifically, I think, you've already won over the Noras, but the Selethar, in addition to rumors of you guys' play and maybe a sporadic 1 or 2 individuals that were in Athenian Moonset Grove for your play that are part of the army, you're starting to win over more Selethar in just a very oral tradition group that loves storytelling and bardic musical production and stuff. They're definitely more and more interested. I would also like for Jiri, roll wisdom saves until you hit a nat 20.
Oh gosh.
And Telperion, roll intelligence checks until you hit a 20. Not a nat 20, just a 20 total.
Do I count how many?
You can count how many, and I will also want to know how many it took for Jiri to hit nat 20.
So close.
So I have a +3, so I have to hit 17, right?
Holy shit!
Yes.
Amazing.
That is incredible. Okay.
Well, I got my first one, 19 +3, so 22.
Very cool. Jiri, we will get to yours in a bit. Telperion, you begin, outside of any flavoring that you have in mind for the Selethar as you begin marching, it has been lingering in your mind, the sort of surge of psionic energy you were able to allow through your body the other day training with some of the Crescent Knight novices. And you gain an understanding, loosely, not specific mechanics yet, but you gain an understanding of what you think that can facilitate. Within the typical sort of structure of your telekinetic pushes and your larger telekinetic movements, you think you can affect more targets within a sort of localized area within that range, functionally a 30-foot cone. And should you be able to expend more psionic dice, you might be able to push and or pull people and deal damage to multiple people. However, you know that although this could facilitate an instance or two of burst damage, this is still less efficient than using a psionic strike on your attacks. So that because there's no modifiers involved. So it's just based on the amount of psionic dice you think you are willing to burn in certain situations, you might be able to affect a couple people at a time with some effect.
We got a cone, baby.
Ooh.
I don't
Tell
even
Baron-
have one of those.
Could we also practice you moving Shaggy without knocking me off of Shaggy?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. That was unfortunate.
I know, but I think you just startled Shaggy. I think if we practice, he'll get used to it.
Yeah, we can totally practice. We can do it a few times a day.
Okay, sounds good.
Start working on that.
Fucking sick.
Anything else from you guys that you're working on in general, or just generally amusing yourself with as the army march continues?
I guess Topirian would be like in meditation on what you brought up, because I think the whole Crescent Knight Psionics thing is definitely heavy on him right now, on his mind. And also he's starting to like get a little bit obsessive about like, all right, what's going on with Cecilia? Like this is coming up and it's becoming important. So like he's starting to dwell on her and just why this is all. He's like looking at the connection, studying it from afar, being like, this is just weird how this is all scheming together.
Okay. As you do that, in addition to your success with beginning to gain understanding about your burgeoning ability here, go ahead and make a wisdom check with disadvantage.
We got this.
2 nat
Wisdom.
20s.
Wisdom check, huh? I like that. I like that plus 0 energy. This is raw. Oh my god, a nat 20 and a 19.
Ooh.
Wow.
Topirian's gonna die soon.
Wow.
What? That's 2 19s and a 20 today. Holy shit.
What the fuck?
Keep it up. We need those.
So it is a 19 in total.
That's extremely good. And I do want to reward that with information I maybe wasn't anticipating. I will say, as you meditate, and you sort of hone your focus and direct it toward tangible things you've experienced. The painted mural of Cecilia wielding the 2 swords of Celestial, Fengamore and Illimir. In that mural, 2 angels were at her side. Then there was the recent acknowledgement of Tobirama's ritual of legend lore being cast on Fengamore. And although you weren't able, for some reason, almost 2 millennia of time was blurry before you were able to see its theoretical use by Cecilia and creation, potentially, or at least its origin. It just confirms the idea that, in theory, powerful beings are seemingly... There's sort of a recurring motif in some of the stuff you guys have been encountering. Rome, maybe the Divinor Medallion, and Fengamore and Illimir. There are powerful beings being bound to powerful items for use by standard people. Cecilia was an ancient war hero with, power in her own right, but still, seemingly the power of extraplanar beings are being wielded by mortals throughout history. And I would just say your reflections sort of just give you an extra level of not certainty, but heavy suspicion and confidence that that is what's at play in some of these items that you guys have encountered.
Fabulous, thank you.
Do we know if Celia is the same type of elf that Telperion is? Are they both from?
I can say
It's a very
Perfect.
unique.
Yeah, I'll let Telperion answer that.
we found out. I do think from
Chiron.
Tyron that she is called half elven, not because she was half elf, half human, but because she, unlike anyone else in history, was of both moon elf and sun elf descendancy.
Right.
Whereas that's never happened. And I asked my question actually, this question is a small question because Telperion would probably know this. If a moon elf and a sun elf got together, would one just be a dominant strain, or is there not recorded stories of that happening?
It was recorded of interspecies relationships occasionally occurring, but they were famously, for whatever reason, divined by the gods or physiologically incapable of producing offspring. So it was just, and therefore culturally, those interspecies relationships happened less and less frequently because of the sort of understanding that it would never bear fruit in that way. Unless people were not interested in bearing kids and stuff, then there would still be those relationships. But culturally, it became less frequent because it was virtually unheard of that breeding could produce offspring.
Fabulous, thank you.
So Cecilia is the knowledge that she was a Duethvar of both halves was just extremely unique to her, or at least no recorded history before then had mentioned something like that.
Would Telperion have heard that phrase before Chiron told him that?
I would think so. Duethvar, you would know, is like it probably wouldn't have been a frequent phrase or word in your culture, but it might have happened when there's like, oh, this person was maybe someone in Creatia that we traded with was born of Drow descent and Wild Elf descent. So like Duethvar being two parts of Elven descent is not unheard of, but that word used in a Moon and Sun Elf context was not ever really part of any understanding. And it seems like throughout text, there was a misrepresentation of the word that hinted at half-elf in your culture.
I think given all of this info, Telperion's also been spending a lot of time walking over to Rome and walking over to Toby and just going like this, and just staring at them and like being like, Toby, hold the amulet for a second. Almost like you're like posing for a selfie, and he goes, and then he walks away. Okay. Are you taking notes?
Toby, anything
No.
with your unit?
You
Yeah,
are
I have a
traveling
bit
with
of
the
a-
Villian.
I have a bit of a quandary here.
Wait.
And
No.
it's like the opposite of what I feel like is normal metagaming. I think on a 14-day trek march, Toby would be very interested in requesting aid from Kelemvor once a day, every day. But I have no interest, Michael Kennedy, of doing 14 divine interventions.
I see what you're
And I
saying.
don't know how to marry those two unless you want me to just try, because I want to
Yeah.
gain clarity on the fuzziness that was the Fengamore.
Yeah.
Do
Okay.
14 do
Okay.
14 checks.
I know, but that's
yeah,
just
so
the lamest
it-
thing ever.
It is interesting because also divine intervention is a class ability, and there's been instances in this campaign where people have reached out to me because their class abilities are underutilized. It's hard to use them as written. Can we tweak them to make them be a part of my kit that I use? So I'm thankful when you didn't do that over downtime, because
I
rolling
didn't think of it
30 of
till
those
just
is
now,
one thing.
yeah.
But at the same time, I think that should be fair game too. Downtime should maybe facilitate a better chance of success of this super rare ability that many people don't get to count on. At least for now. Yeah, go ahead and make 14 D100 rolls.
Can't
Is
wait
it-
to watch
Also,
this.
I just want to double check. Is it 14 or is it 10?
So, okay, actually, that's a good point. So, start with 10 because it was mentioned that the trek should take 10 days,
Oh, okay.
but weather and stuff could throw that off
Okay.
and turn it into up to maybe a 14-day journey. And that flexibility was accounted for by the army's traversal so that we can synchronize our attacks and
Right.
buy each other some flexibility if challenges are in the way.
He's
So
like,
what
we
the-
had homework.
So just
What number
start
you
with
looking for?
10 rolls, and he needs to hit a 10 or lower.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I'm specifically wanting to learn the location of the sword Thingamore. That is the
Damn.
aid I am requesting of Kilmer.
Okay, got it.
Well, we don't hate that. What do you got to get? Under 14?
10.
Under 10?
He's
or
got to get
less.
10 or lower. He has 10% chances here.
Ooh. 3,
I feel like I'm shiny hunting right now.
5,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
6,
7,
Fuck. They're all so high.
8,
8.
9. I clicked it. It's taking its time.
E.
And last one.
E.
Oh, so
Ooh,
close.
That one got close.
On.
What's wild is that in those 10, there were 2 repeats, a 55 and a 92. That's crazy.
Whoa.
I blame roll 20. No.
You pray to Kelemvor at least every day of the trek. If it takes longer, we can add a couple rolls in there toward the end. But at least for now, there's no response that comes to you in your prayer. And you don't know if that's because Kelemvor's hearing you and choosing not to just answer any question you give, or if he doesn't know, or there could be various things at
Sure.
play, but the information does not come to you over those 10 days.
Okay.
Hmm.
Let me do 30 more. No. So
I also think your ritual over Fengamore happened at some point in the downtime. So assuming it happened later in the downtime,
Right.
it this is new knowledge, a new pursuit you might be starting up. So cool. All right. Well, unless there's any other items of business, the first day of travel will conclude. It's an interesting experience to see an entire army of several hundred individuals begin to stop their trek and begin to camp down for the night, setting up makeshift tents. It's a very intense experience, but over the course of an hour or two, very rudimentary living spaces are allotted toward the border of the forest, but still in open plain air. And you guys can begin your first long rest. I don't know if there's anything you want to handle on your long rest, but functionally, day 1 of travel is complete.
I'm gonna keep working on my thing, obviously.
I will also say, even though travel takes the majority of you guys' effort these days, over the course of 10 days, Roulette, you'll be able to chip away at your final remaining week, and toward the end of this travel, maybe not by the end of this session, but toward the end of this travel, you will probably have the time required.
Danka.
As well as, at some point along this journey, or toward the end of it, Mirage may be done with the Banewood, or the Bane Claw brooch, and the Fan of 4 Winds. So as long as he can get those to you in the future, they're almost done for Roan and Jiri.
Ooh.
During this last long rest, Telperion's gonna come up to the crew. All right, so the sending spell we've learned is important, and I wanted to keep in touch with my sister. You know, mortal affairs, not trying to die, not let her know. And so I asked her to craft these for me. What do they look like?
Potatoes.
They are like a translucent lapis lazuli, like a blue colored crystal with like an elvish design etched into them with like a chiseling tool. But it's functionally like what you might imagine, like just 2 translucent, so you can see through them, but not transparent because they do obscure the light moving through them, but 2 translucent blue stone crystals.
Fabulous. This one, and I flip them when I catch one. This one will always be on my person, and I put it in its pocket. And also, I mean, for the short term, one of you should hold the other. I don't care who thinks that is a good reason they should hold it, just to be in communication.
I'm used to doing it, so maybe I just don't prepare the spell and I carry it.
Oh,
You do know it will only facilitate one use of this spell per day to the other recipient of the stone. So, not preparing the spell sending may still limit you in other ways when you want to reach out to other people outside of this duo. But yes,
it's up to you if you want to stop preparing it. But also, since you have the capability, maybe it's important that you keep it, give it to a different person who can't ever do it, and increase the communication,
The network.
the network. Because also, yeah,
I would say give it to Roulette then.
I like that. You also fetch information all. You can go invisible and fly. You want to hold one?
Oh, sure.
In terms of like army, I feel like the two of you are probably gonna be like opposite ends of the battlefield.
So who has the other one? Toby does?
I have it.
You have it. Oh,
Right, and just for the record, Roulette, I don't know if you know this. Minerva, clever wizard that she is, she inscribed a version of the spell in my spell book, which I can use once per day to communicate with her. Which, I mean, I like talking to my sister for sure, but if you ever needed to send her a message or something,
I would probably grab the book right away, not knowing that this existed, and I'd immediately just ask her like, "Hey, Minerva, so I was working on this thing," and I just try and spit out a question right away.
you're able to. It's an odd experience because you have to write into the tome with your question, and then the ink disappears. And what do you ask Minerva? Anything you want to RP through, or
No, it would just be like
Okay.
talking about metals and arcane metals.
okay? Her response will come through moments later, and that use of the sending spell through Telpurian's wizard spellbook will be used for the day. But that happens.
Thanks, Telperion, and I'll probably walk away with the book.
I'll need that back.
Telpiron, question for you. Do you think your sister could hook up like another stone so that we could have 3 or 4 or 5 or 1 for all of us?
Well, it took her like 2 months to make these two, but that's fucking awesome. I love that idea. But I also don't know how it would work. But also, I don't know magic that well, so and I do a little puff, a little firework comes out. Look at that. And but no, I can do the big stuff. So I will ask her. That's a good question. I make loaf.
Oh, you make loaf. Perfect.
I make loaf.
I took the amethyst jar from Roulette that the fairy dragon was trapped in, and I have my loaf my loaf components in it. There he is.
Fudge.
You're supposed to be less pudgy today, Liv.
Well, the first day concludes. Nothing thwarts your attempt at a long rest, and the next day begins. Who wants to roll a d10?
Rolling. 2.
A 2. Roll 2d4.
Oh, God.
How
Moved.
many ancient red dragons fly in? 4 total.
Ooh.
That is low enough. A heavy fog begins to rise and set in throughout the day, but only for 4 hours, which forces the army to need to march a little longer to achieve their mile count for the day, but it does not put you back a meaningful amount. So some weather oddness, but nothing that really hinders the army's march. And the second day will conclude. Let's see. No, we did that. Okay, yeah, so nothing yet. As the army sort of settles down for a second night, General Mathros will come and check on all of you, in addition to his rounds with the general dozens and dozens of soldiers he's commanding, in addition to, for the first time you're seeing him as the general of the Ithilwinge, is functionally in charge of beast folk and bird folk as well, and the Nora mercenaries, although they're keeping close to Jiri's general area of control. And General Mathros will come by and check in with you guys and suggest that we're gonna need to get up rather early tomorrow, before dawn. It needs to be an important day of travel because we need to cover as much terrain as we can. Assuming that Magnus is able to disrupt the supply lines and scouting regiments that occupy Elandris' territory, tomorrow is the day we have agreed on that happening. So, expect a long march tomorrow. Right.
Will do, Father.
Let me know if there's anything any of you all need.
Oh, I've got a question for
Otherwise-
you.
Yes, indeed.
What did you do with Vitria's arm after you chopped it off?
Funnily enough, I believe one of her commanders at her side grabbed it and rushed back into the portal with her. Not many survived the attack, but Vitria, one of her aides, and a handful of soldiers were able to retreat back into the mirror, and the arm did go with them.
All right, if you do that again, make sure you grab it this time.
I will certainly try.
Did she say anything at all that was not just like a command or related to the battlefield?
In our fight beneath the dungeons, it was pretty emphasized, or it became apparent that their attack launched from magical translocation means within Austenis. I don't know how long the creation of said magical means took place. I don't know if they're still utilizing those tactics or if we thwarted those in our defenses and destruction of the mirror's original rituals. The only other thing I can think of is we have long postulated on why we were targeted and why Ezrin was facilitating information to her, even if Vitria and Ezrin served in some way the same patron entity that was offering them power in exchange for darkness and pain and whatever else is of use to her. We don't exactly know. We suspect we were seen as a threat that could have leapt to Creatia's aid. Maybe it was as simple as trying to strike preemptively at a populace, and there were crates and crates of weird fire at their disposal. We suspect they were interested in setting the forest ablaze, in means that would probably break through our mythals. The weird fire's properties are not something accounted for in our magics, and so it could have wreaked havoc and been an effective tactic. But so far, that is all we've ascertained about the matter.
Those teleportation devices would be really useful on the battlefield, so maybe we have to keep an eye out for them. We wouldn't want reinforcements to show up out of nowhere.
Resetting.
Yep.
To be on the screen. Loaf is vital. How much HP does Loaf have?
1 probably.
Jiri, Mathros will respond to your comment and say, we have thought the same, but one thing in our favor, we believe, is that a critical part of that translocation magic was Ezrin. They needed someone on the inside transcribing matching glyphs on the mirrors to knit together that portal. We are traveling with a mobile army, with individuals we believe have been fully vetted and that we can trust, and we are not carrying any supplies like magical mirrors fit for that. So as long as someone can't be transcribing glyphs to knit together a location with Austenis, that specifically should not be a variable we need to account for. But certainly other means of teleportation will be certainly keenly looked for.
Especially because that witch woman, she teleported Rome's base away. I also wonder if they didn't teleport to our camp somehow, or at least close by. I doubt they could hunt through the whole Emerin, pass through all Creatia to find us in that random location.
Indeed, we have suspected the same. That night when they attacked the Citadel, the birdfolk in Selethar joined ranks at once and scouted the entire terrain, there was no track of their aimless wandering, scouting, searching. It seems they apparated into our midst, which implies they needed to know the location to do so into. This Duke individual you all have mentioned, we imagine facilitated this information, but unfortunately no more intel has been made available.
We didn't keep his body, so we couldn't ask him.
Well, we did kill the Duke.
The Duke is still at large.
We don't know who he is. You might be thinking of the Count.
Oh, we didn't? Wait. The
The Duke is a vague person we've never met.
Shapeshifter.
Well, something like that, who only Moira knows. And the Duke is counterpart to
Duchess?
a Duchess, but I don't know. Is the Duchess Moira then? I think so. And then the Duke is the one who informed. He's the reason we got pursued.
Gotcha.
Which means
Oh,
he's
yeah.
maybe got a spy on our camp or something.
Now that we are on the road, I will also offer you five the information that the Beast King and his aide, the Seneschal of Sky, Korik, their top priority right now is trying to ascertain whereabouts information about this Duke. If there are people amongst our midst we cannot trust, hopefully their search will reveal results.
That's good to know.
Yeah, but you can't scry on people unless you like actually know them, right? There's no like chance.
That appears to be true. For even Korik, Seneschal of Sky, who has enough information to try, has gleaned no information about the Arc Knight's whereabouts through his Dreamcatcher staff. For because we do not know his identity, we cannot locate him through scrying means. Which suggests that the same is true for other individuals. Knowing a title, knowing a vague appearance of, does not relay enough information without identity
I guess so.
to be able to look in on them from afar. So, astutely noticed, we are unable to scry, I imagine, toward whatever this Duke may be.
It's also important to remember that Toby's amulet potentially blocked scrying.
So it's not unreasonable to think
Red Iron.
high important people could be blocked from divination as well.
I just think it's important to note that we can theoretically not be easily scryed on if we're with you, which is important.
I wish I could know when it's being attempted, though.
Well, what that says is that likely if the demons who stole the vase teleported to us, they theoretically didn't scry on us. In which case it was someone at the camp who was the victim of the scrying that placed the location so they could teleport. Unless they knew we were gathering through more mundane means, but...
Or if it's somebody who's complicit in spies.
Or
Spies.
if they have like a magnet or a compass towards Divinor.
No, I think I tried that. Rome and I tried to build something like that, and we couldn't. I think yeah.
If Roulette couldn't do it, then nobody could.
I
You're
would
right.
say with Roulette's high intelligence, I'll just offer the information that it's not just that you couldn't do it. You quickly determined that that magical interaction was likely impossible. So even though you guys figured that out in a couple of days, someone spending years trying to build a compass, Divinor seemed to have such a potent rejection of detection magic on it that maybe there are means to do so, but you don't think those means are easily achievable by any means.
Gotcha.
Well, If there's anything you need only call. And he will take his leave and allow you to camp for the second night.
I'm gonna have. I was just looking at the owl stat block for the first time, like really. And I saw that keen hearing is a thing in sight. And I'm just realizing outside of combat, I think I will be training Loaf in general to be running active perception checks and just like circling above in general, maybe like 40 feet out from us or something. Just kind of keep an eye on things. So he has technically +4 with advantage. So, and I'll shout out when I think to do it, but it's also something that's going to be definitely like just starting to happen a bit more.
A consistent thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Cool.
I did see it.
Your army camps for the night. Wild Sage Blossom roots himself into the ground near one of the nearby trees. Whoever wants to is welcome to sleep within his embrace of branches.
Oh, dibs.
I'll be sleeping there.
Yeah.
Very nice. Otherwise, nothing assaults your long rest. You are able to get another one and set out for... You are all woken very early by Mathros and some of his closest officers, rousing the entire campground, and it's still dark outside, far before dawn, as you begin to march again for this day, essentially hoping that Magnus is holding up his end of the bargain while you pass through what I would consider the radius of Olandris' scouting ability, and hope that he disrupts supply lines along the way. I would like everyone... It's going to be morale based, because your morale is sort of tied, yes, in the warfare mechanics to initiative, but it's also your ability to command them well. So I want to ask everyone for a stealth check based on your charisma. So if you're proficient in stealth, you can still add your proficiency, but otherwise it's pretty much a charisma check for everyone as you pass through. I will also say everyone gets advantage on this check.
Do we get to add our morale number to it?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so charisma check
Plus
at
morale.
advantage plus morale.
Yes.
Okay.
Charisma plus morale.
If I have +1 morale, -1 stealth, this is a flat
You
advantage
have
roll.
negative charisma.
Yeah, -1 charisma, +1 morale.
I
So
don't think you add your
You're
proficiency.
controlling
You
disadvantage.
did say you had your proficiency.
Yeah, if you're proficient, you can add it just because you get to use your skill check.
Nah.
Even if
another 19.
So
No way.
plus 15.
I rolled a 19
18
and-
plus 2 plus 4. 24.
12 for roulette.
Chris, what if I have the boots? Does that matter?
you guys all get advantage on this check anyway.
Okay,
So
but
I think that gave advantage, which I don't think necessarily affects your current advantage.
So stealthy.
Okay, so I think it's just +6 then.
Sounds right to me. Overall, you guys,
Yikes. Okay, so that's an 8.
You're at advantage.
yes, you
Oh,
do have
advantage.
advantage. Yeah.
Oh!
Man.
But I got a natty 20, so maybe we'll counteract.
So
And
it's 2 plus 6, right?
as a group skill
Yep.
check, you guys definitely overcome the DC for this, even with Rome for the first time in the cold, pulling animals away from their natural inclination to hibernate. Sort of their behaviors are sometimes erratic, and you're having a difficult time sort of reining in some of their natural chaotic behaviors in this weird climate when they should all be sheltering in place, likely.
Exactly. We're snapping a lot of branches.
Yeah, and that giant
Yeah.
walking tree.
Also walking
And the
tree.
giant walking tree, yes. That too. But as a group, you guys are able to find a good balance between sort of accommodatable terrain to march through, as well as keeping as far toward the border of forest terrain as you can. And hopefully Magnus has done his job. For you don't see Wyvern Knights in the air soaring anywhere nearby. Even looking into the distance, you don't see their rounds being made. So maybe, and you can't quite see Elandris, it's too far, but at least their radius of territory they cover, you don't see any. So you are able to continue your journey. We'll go ahead and sort of more rapid fire a couple of these days of travel. Let's have the 3 people that haven't rolled yet go ahead and roll a d10.
If I remember correctly, Gift of Alacrity advantage doesn't at all matter in Warfare because it's all morale based.
Yeah, and you having advantage on initiative does not grant that benefit to the 100 troops you're commanding.
But you also already have it from being proficient with that unit.
Yeah, and you
type.
already, your unit has advantage because you're proficient with commanding that unit. So
Got it. Gift of Alacrity is plus a d8, but I'm just not going to bother with it because
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
for warfare efforts, that is true. That's just not a beneficial spell in that regard.
okay, no worries.
Okay. 7, 8, and 6. You guys rolled really middle of the pack.
6, 7, 8.
As one of the nights, as this first night concludes, a small meteor shower takes place in the sky, and you just see a couple shooting stars pass by.
Wow.
The temperature does drop significantly on your the second day of travel, which is really the 4th here. So I would like everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
Hyperion is such a little bee about the cold because he's used to the mythals, and so he's like really taking to carrying around the magic brazier. What are you doing, con saves?
Constitution saving throw.
We can't be stopped tonight. I rolled an 18.
Jeez.
Hey, you guys are-
fuck, Telperion.
You guys are rolling
That's- and then it's
really
plus-
well.
18,
plus 7.
19, 19, 19, 20. It's just
25,
unreal.
baby.
Anyone get sub 10 on this
Doesn't
saving
look like
throw?
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
durable.
cold is bitter and it's inconvenient and uncomfortable, but none of you suffer exhaustion in the march. The constant motion really helps you sort of innately fight off the effects of the cold. And then on the final day, a very clear day. Although you do see, which is apt for your location, you do see a wyvern in the sky far ahead, and the entire army sort of halts its tracks along the borders of as close to shelter as you can. But on this final day, you guys are a little more exposed away from the border of the forest than usual. But you know you're coming up on a territory sort of patrolled by Durast.
Where are we at?
We're about to hit the first orange square.
Oh, Senek. Okay, got it.
Correct. So on the 4th night, before the 5th day, Mathros will once again come and check in with all of you and suggest that we've been able to send out scouts in the form of shape-shifting Oracocra, that can take the guise of simple birds and owls, and we've confirmed that there is a small force of Durastians occupying the Cenetian Pass, but that it's still to our advantage to march through that rather than risking going north around it or south through Senek's occupied territory. As long as we don't let a substantial amount of fleers retreat towards Senek and avail them of our position, it's an opportune chance to march through that pass, pretty much take it for our own, and then immediately discard it as we move through. Maybe using it to camp for the night if it can facilitate our forces. But sort of emphasizing the idea that tomorrow we're going to have a skirmish.
Dope.
So, on this final night before tomorrow, that would reveal some version of conflict. Is there any things you guys want to do? Conversations you want to have? Spells you want to prepare carefully? Attunement slots to get in order? Because tomorrow we will engage in warfare.
Roulette's doing the launcher thing again, but now instead of them catching it, they're trying to avoid it because when the little rocks get shot, they actually stick to their targets. So she's just playing a little launcher game, trying to target the fellow Aarakocra, getting their speed and shit up.
Very well. I'm trying to think if I want to instigate anything with you. I don't think so. I think we'll wait toward the end of your project timeline. Anything
And
else from the others? Yeah, what you got?
Enhanceability has been up this entire time.
I kind of figured, yeah.
Tomorrow will be the one day that I don't have it, knowing that we're going to do a skirmish, but then it will switch back on. Yeah.
Perfect. Anything else from the rest of you guys, or just sort of preparing emotionally, mentally for a charge tomorrow?
Fight!
Yeah, I've got some spells to cast before the skirmish breaks out, but that'll be for the next day.
Right.
Yeah, just boosted morale, doing Jerry stuff.
Jiri, I would like you to please make a wisdom check. Not a wisdom saving throw, a wisdom check.
Another one.
Yeah, you thought you were getting proficiency?
You're getting a lot of usage out of that +1 modifier from the sheath, though.
Yes.
True.
15?
15. Okay, noted.
Oh, hush,
All right.
you're noted.
All right.
No idea what's going on.
The night will conclude, and in the morning, you guys are close enough to the Phoenician Pass where weather is not going to have an opportunity to slow you enough. But let's have one more person roll a single d10. This will just affect, is it cold enough for you guys to take potential exhaustion before the skirmish?
I got it. Oh, it out of the box. 8. I don't know if high's bad or good.
I
think
roll
he
high temp.
disperses.
It's on a table based on a couple things.
It's 80 degrees.
It's pretty it's pretty cold, but not cold enough to warrant saving throws against exhaustion.
Roulette is concerned about global warming.
He'll be
guys-
hugging a brazier.
You guys are able to start moving forward, and you see off in the distance a small change in terrain where there's a little bit of a ravine where the path goes through, and you do see a stone structure off in the distance. As you approach, you also do see a couple wyverns take flight a couple hundred yards away and retreat to that structure. And Mathros will send out the commands that we're close enough that we've been seen. It's time to engage. Everyone, march forward. Halt at my position when you're ready. And we'll take it from there. It's only been an hour and a half, not quite halfway, but I think this might be a good opportunity to bio break real quick if
Yeah.
people want to do that.
Bizzo.
Okay.
Germorn. Yerdorn. Shareborn.
I love this song. It's so good. All the Witcher songs are dope. I wish I could have played that game in its prime, but looking back at gameplay, I just can't play that game.
Yeah, it's hard. I've tried on 3 separate occasions to get into it.
What game?
Funny.
The Witcher.
The Witcher.
3.
The Witcher?
I just wish I would have played it at the time it came out. And that was on PS4. Ian had it like in college. It was such an opportune time. I totally should have got into that game, but
Witcher 3 is so sick.
I didn't feel good playing it.
It does spell sword so well because you only have like 5 spells and they all do different things and you can power them up and use them in different ways.
Yeah.
I think our camera got like that sepia filter again.
Yeah, it does.
Well, we're about to reset the Zoom anyway, so when they get back, we should reset it to 10 minutes.
yeah.
we can do that. Also, from our perspective, I don't think we can tell anything different with your camera.
Well, I mean, I might just be really sensitive to the changes too.
sepia tone. That's so weird.
Hey, Archimedes. Oh my god, this girl is so cute.
It's just
Let's get our skirmish action on.
A little change of music for us. And let's
Res-
pull you guys-
resume.
Oh yeah, let's jump zooms.
I think it's a Zoom thing more than a camera thing.
I love that it's resume, which is resume.
Steve just
I
said,
heard Steve saying it as it went away. Saying, "Oh,
"Great, clear was absolutely the way to go because you can
Yeah,
literally
I think so too.
through the whole. You can see his sword and stuff, and it's also very Telperion. It's like a little force field.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Very cool. Dude, that's awesome. Actually, yeah, a
It feels
little
so sleek
extendable
to
force
touch.
field.
After my old one, everything was nasty about it.
Nice. Love that.
Side eye.
All right. Well, over the course of the next 10 to 15 minutes, your forces march close enough into place, and you see commotion going on at the stronghold up ahead as forces begin to pile out of the 2 gates in front of and at the base of each side of the stronghold, set into sort of cliff faces of very low chasm edges. And you see very quickly that at the top of each of the sort of turret areas of this stronghold, there are large wooden trebuchet weaponry available. And as you guys get closer to the vicinity here, Maethros's forces will stop, and he will suggest for you guys not to continue any further. And as long as you stay to the right of the starting line here, you guys have an opportunity to prep things you want to and shift
Yeah.
around your units as you want to.
Once we put them not in the middle, they don't. We can't put them back.
I've got some spells to throw around."
Also, Telperion, if you hold Alt while you're moving your little guy, it'll keep him in the exact location you have him in instead of snapping to the nearest grid.
Clutch.
I'm going to cast Steel Sync, and then I will use my spell refueling ring to immediately get that spell slot back.
Okay, so Daisy runs up to you, encases you with her form, and you are Iron Manized, and you get the spell slot immediately back. Sounds good.
There's a subclass for that.
I'm gonna cast 2 Death Wards. One is gonna go on Jiri, one's gonna go on Roulette.
Thank you.
I'm also gonna cast 2 third-level aids to get 6 people. So that's 1,
All
2,
of us.
3, 4, 5, 6. All the generals, an extra 10 HP.
I like the idea of all of us like coming up to Toby and like rubbing his little 8-ball, or like, you know, all right, come on, hit me with the magic.
I'm
So
assuming that's
I'm
temporary.
no, it's a increase to your maximum hit points,
If you click on your HP, you can change the override for max HP.
Oh,
or the modifier by 10 is usually what I do.
What do you?
Is it 10 hit points?
10.
Donka.
The 90s.
And
Still one
then
Oops.
Jiri.
Rome, oh, you should come to join me in the middle. Swap with roulette.
Jiri or Telperion, who would like Holy Weapon on?
Me.
He claimed it. Telperion, I will cast Holy Weapon on his greatsword.
Oh, look at that glow.
Wow.
Lasts
very
for
cool.
an hour.
Lasts
Holy
for
weapon?
an hour. Concentration, though.
So that's something I gotta think. So your weapon attacks deal an extra 2d8 radiant.
What?
So very
Yeah.
good for commander 1v1s. Not gonna
Can I
do
get
much
back in
until
line?
then. I think that was all the things I was gonna do. I'll cast a 2nd level false life on myself, and then use a channel divinity to get that spell slot back, which is a D4
Okay.
plus 9.
Okay. And those are temps, not
Correct.
changes to the max.
So
You want to move slightly further north?
Mhm.
I'll as I'm swooping by, I'll stop by Mathros and I'll just say, Mathros, just to be wary. I don't know. Pay attention to Rome's critters that she's going to be calling up. She kind of expands in multiple directions, and stay out of her way. She can do pretty big damage, but she's got quite a bit to move. Also, that's a
Understood.
general note if you're near Rome, because Rome, I know you had the line that couldn't move sometimes last time. Stay out of Rome's way.
Yeah, and based on the way Rome swarms, the way she attaches pieces certainly affects how that interacts with other people, for sure.
Was there a screen where we saw our abilities with our units?
There was. That is a totally different screen.
Oh, sweet. But I just. And when do we get to activate the special?
it's a bonus
It's
action.
a bonus action.
Got it.
So you can choose to either use your special ability or defend, which will make you resistant to all incoming damage until the starting of next turn.
I'm gonna take a picture of this. Oh, and I'll screenshot it. Oh,
Perfect.
is it Control? Oh, no, oh shit.
Windows Shift S.
Yes, Dad. Got it. Thank you.
But
Mhm.
but Chris, just to be clear, when it's the asterisk that's next to the attack is like per like subunit, right? So if there's like two
Correct.
squares,
Per
right?
space of your swarms. So Wild Sage Blossom doesn't necessarily count. What his attachment is doing will let you deal double
Right.
damage to structures.
Okay.
But for every additional swarm you create, you're basically tacking on an additional 25 hit points and an additional 1d8 to your attacks.
So
Sure.
Okay. But by using that, you're innately not defending, which, you know, most of the time that might be in your favor, but sometimes maybe not. But I'm also happy to remind people, or we can jump back and forth to the screen whenever you guys need. But for now, as you guys begin to approach, let's go ahead and all roll initiative.
yeah, are we happy with our arrangement here? Can we?
I'm gonna
ask
start
Mathros to
rolling
move?
initiative for my stuff. Mathros will. I'm in control of Mathros, so he will stay here.
Okay. I don't want to leave Telperion up there by himself.
I plucked on morale, so my initiative actually works. Oh, we have advantage.
Oh, my initiative is the same as my morale.
Basically, everyone has advantage except for Roulette in this situation.
Ooh, sorry. I don't know what I rolled.
Um, +4 to this.
Critter, I'm rolling again because I rolled with an advantage by accident.
Perfect.
I got the same.
23 for Toby. 19 +4 is Juicy.
I got a 17. But did not pop up.
Yeah, hang on 1 second. I am gonna have to custom add these guys real
Sure.
quick. That one is. Sure, in the future I can find a more seamless way to handle this, but
Oh.
Telperion, you can hide, right? So
Yeah, baby.
So I don't need to be as worried about being up there with you.
I got a second wind. I think I got a health potion. And you give me holy weapon. I'm gonna smite some people.
okay, let's see here. Telperion 19, that's correct for your unit, yes. Roulette 20 is correct for your unit.
Yup.
Okay. Jiri, we will do your unit here. What was your unit's score, Jiri?
17.
17.
Mine was 18.
Rome is 18. And Toby?
23.
Damn, girl.
Yeah, 19 +4.
That is damn girl. All right, let me roll for Mathros real quick.
That is damn girl.
Big if true.
With advantage. You will have a 16.
Got 7 morale.
I mean, he's the commander,
He's
so
the general of the elves. I think that
General baby.
tracks.
General Baby.
God damn it.
All right, sort descending. We have our order established. Tactician, what change would you like to make before
Wait.
combat even begins?
It also got hidden from our screens, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not deleted.
There.
Oh.
no, it's not deleted.
Thank God.
That would have been unfortunate.
That would have been unfortunate, but I knew it wouldn't delete that. That's fine.
Unforge.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Unforge. Okay.
Yeah.
You can tell that Toby Rama's and his wild folk he's commanding are just itching to launch forward faster than anyone else.
But
Do you make
oh,
an adjustment?
I'll put him before me.
Pulling him down?
Wait, who is it? Oh, no. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's funny because frustrating because like Roulette shows up as herself, so
I clicked my token, but that's why.
oh, because it just makes these a little hard to read. So Toby's first. I'm happy to let Toby go first. Oh, I guess I'll just raise up. Where's Jiri?
Mathros is the
Only move yourself.
lowest at
You can only
16.
move yourself.
Jiri's got
Also,
17.
the names are still on there, so that should make things
Not for us,
fairly
not for
easy.
us.
Yeah, I only see my own name.
Oh, you guys don't see all names. That's
Correct.
interesting. I didn't.
Yeah,
know
I
that
feel
was
like
a
it would be
setting that
easier
used
if it
to
was
be.
our character pictures, but
Yeah.
Critter, can you swap out the? I'm not even gonna-
Rome's is easy to tell.
Critter, can you swap out like the token? Like,
I'm orange.
Well, let me do this.
can you manually add
Yep.
Toby as like?
I never talked to you guys. Like, I don't really know the strategy here of order. We also rolled like fucking kings.
Yeah, I guess the only thing is maybe bring Mathros up so we all go.
Yeah, bring
like,
Mathros
all
up.
of them.
I'll put Mathros in front of me.
Toby is 23.
With the
Yeah,
tribute ships, I'm
that's-
imagining we're gonna want to move up.
And before or after. What?
Unlike last time, where it made sense for them to come to us.
Yeah, we want
That's
to get
the-
those off the map.
What do we want off of?
The
So
trebuchets.
goal here, and I don't know if Mathros would have said this, but I just read this on the thing.
Yep.
We gotta destroy both gates.
Yes, victory condition listed up at the right.
Top right.
Your victory condition would be destroying both of those red gates that have a hit point and are susceptible to siege damage from a large treant. Destroying those two structures will win you this conflict. Losing is if Mathros dies and you can't get to him quickly enough to res him, or you guys all are forced to retreat in some way.
Wait, what exactly are the structures that need to be destroyed? Can
The
you put
gates,
them
the
up?
red.
The red things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I snap Mathros to above me, behind Roulette.
I will add him as well to the initiative for his unit.
Thank you for adding the tokens. It's very helpful. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
Super helpful.
You betcha. We're going to remove that. We're going to move him back to there, and you're going to snap him up to in front of or behind you, Telperion?
In front of me. I want to follow his lead.
All right. Kicking things off. Toby Rama, what do you do first?
I would like a reminder of what my passive of Ferality does for me. I don't need a screen change. I know what it's called.
Virality, you gain, based on your size, you gain a modifier to your damage. So with 4 spaces of people, your damage right now is 4d8, but you're able to add a +4 to that. But that goes down as your unit size is further and further injured.
And in general, it's like 25 per, so I've got like an HP of 100 right now.
Yep.
Keep track of that.
Yep.
I also have I believe a speed of 3 and a range of 1.
I believe that sounds right.
I forgot to mark those down. So
Yeah,
I will
speed of 3, range of 1,
start-
and your unit should have that data in them. If you click the unit,
Oh.
it should have all of that. Oh, it looks like for that one it wasn't in there for some reason.
I think it's because I used a bigger one last time.
That's what she said.
Yikes.
That ain't right.
Oh, a
I
lot of
will-
yours aren't in there. I wonder if something got broken. Weird.
On my turn, all I will simply do is move forward 3 and then take the dodge bonus action. Oh, but I could dash as an action. So let's start with 1, 2, 3.
I'm so glad you said that because I forgot.
Yeah, you can attack or dash, and then bonus action you can special or dodge. I'm not gonna dash. I don't like how close that gets me.
Sure.
So
Okay,
I'm going
so you
to
move forward and take the defend bonus
yes,
action.
defend,
Okay,
and
so your
that's it.
unit starts just sprinting ahead first, but then realizing you're getting closer to the threats, you guys take up a defensive position. It will be this unit's turn. You hear some shouting from the distance, and then you see a series of boulders launch from atop the structure toward your unit.
Holy shit.
I'm glad I dodged. You're defended.
Nine, pretty good roll, but because you're defending, your unit takes only 4 damage.
Oh,
I'm
Correct,
gonna
no,
mark
no.
that on the token, which is better than messing with.
Yeah, and I actually just did that really quick, so I will refrain from doing that and let you guys control that for future. All right, that is their turn, and they will occupy a defensive stance. Roulette, it is your unit's turn.
quick question. How high are these walls?
About 20 feet. So
Perfect.
in the sense of battle, you're not going to be able to melee attack them, but your unit specifically is going to have no problem getting up to their elevation.
Got it. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do 5, 6 vertically.
Okay.
So
Dashing.
yeah, I'm action dashing.
Yep.
So I'm out of range of the ground units, and then I will do 7, 8. 7, 8. 7, 8. No, we'll just go 2 more. Yeah. So I believe I'm out of the
Okay.
range of the ground units, but yeah.
Should be. All right. Mathras.
And bonus action defend.
Bonus action defend, action dash. Got it.
Done.
Whoa, what's grabbing that weird? There we go.
Madros.
Papa.
You see Mathros' units, including the Celethar, surprise you a little bit, Telperion, as they dash forward and then all occupy a defensive position, not cloaking. And you very quickly, knowing your father so well, you very quickly determine that in addition to maybe this is a viable strategy, there's an element of attack my unit, don't attack my allies going on with his mentality of choosing that tactic.
Cool.
That will be his turn. Telperion, you are up.
1, 2, action dash, 3, 4, bonus action, cloak.
Okay. Got it.
Oof.
You and your 100 Selethar whip out your cloaks of elven kind and begin to fade away, camouflaging into the snowy terrain. Rome, you and your fauna followers and Wild Sage Blossom.
So I'm gonna move forward too, and then I'm gonna use my bonus action to swarm in front of me.
Okay. I'm going to copy this real quick, moving you
Love
for a
that.
second.
Love
There we go.
that. Extra
All right.
space movement.
Ram.
And can I put, just like for the sake of organization, Wild Sage Blossom in front of me?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was just showing him on map, moving with you. He's an attached unit. He doesn't like occupy a space necessarily like that.
So if that's the case, like let's just say I make like a long line, does he need to like also move at the
As
same
long as he's attached to your unit, we can keep it sort of theater of mind where he's literally
Okay.
positioned.
Great, perfect. Okay, that's all for me.
Perfect. Jiri, you and the Noras.
All right, we 1 2 dash 1 2, and we hang out behind Roulette's army. Roulette's army is not in the air, right?
They are
Yeah,
in the air.
I'm like 20 feet in the air, sorry.
Never mind. Going back 2 spaces and
I'm gonna start heading your way next turn.
Anything bonus action, Jiri?
isn't that bonus action defend?
Yeah, I just didn't hear
Yep.
if you had said that.
Yep.
Perfect.
Sorry, bonus action
Tim,
defend.
you can just dash 1 space forward so that you're slightly forward but still next to Rome. Never mind.
Oh yeah, good point. I could just take over.
Just
Yeah.
one. Yeah, just do one.
Just
yeah.
one. Okay, we'll do that.
I'm hoping to find something here that's not really.
I have a range of 3. 1, 2.
I thought I had. Oh, there we go.
Yes. It is orthogonal.
It is this unit's turn. They will move forward 1 space. Actually, they have to move forward 2 spaces. And they will take aim because their range is 2. And with their crossbows, they don't only have a melee option. They will raise, take down the flyers, they call back to the turrets. And they will take their action to attack you, Roulette.
I don't like that, Jim.
Feels like it's slightly further than 2.
What's slightly further than 2?
The range. I'm rules ordering before I saw the roll. I don't know.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
I
fine.
think- Yeah, I think they're going to be able to hit you with their crossbow range.
Okay, I will take 50 damage.
Yeah, because you dashed, right? Or you didn't spear cast. Did you defend?
I defended. Sorry, so I'm not taking 55.
Okay, correct.
Take
So not 55. You'll take 27. Yep. Okay. Additionally, with their bonus action,
They get 1 too.
they will. You see some of you, Roulette certainly, as well as Mathros, Rome, and Jiri. Probably Telperion and Toby don't necessarily see this through the midst of chaos, but a strange phenomena starts to appear in that space or that region of the battlefield. It looks like just like the snow turned a magical purple blue coloration is just moving more slowly in that area. And you're not sure why. It will be this person's turn. This unit. You will probably not hear intelligible conversation, but they will also use their siege weaponry to target Roulette's flying Oracore. but that is much less than the previous attack. As even though with a very large range for these trebuchets, it still can, the boulders being launched can only threaten so much of your guys' territory. So roulette 5 becomes only 2 to your people. However, you are flying. For your unit, please make a morale check. Or it's not really a morale. No, it is a morale check. Go ahead and make a morale check.
Oh god.
DC is just 10.
What do you add to morale? 0?
I think she has a modifier of like +2.
11.
Oh,
You
not
see some of your forces being hit with these boulders, but you are not knocked to ground level by that attack. But now you recognize that as a threat with these trebuchets. It will be this unit's turn. And they will only move 1 space forward, and then will target Mathros' army with their attack, crossbowing. $45, but they had defended, so that will be 22 to that unit. And then you will see a similar situation take place as Telperion, in a space near you, a strange phenomena sort of just is conjured into existence near the army, and it looks like just an odd visual circumstance out ahead of you. Then it will be this unit's turn, who will make an additional trebuchet attack, probably at Telperion's group.
You gotta catch my cloak, though.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Thank you for the reminder. They have to be able to perceive you with their commander's perception.
Oh, that guy? He's not perceptive.
That guy? Perception check.
Trebuchets aren't doing much damage.
I know.
They prepare their trebuchets, and they can't quite target you because they lost you in the snow. And you hear some yelling out, and you see the trebuchet being rotated slowly by the forces occupying that, and they will launch their damage instead at Mathros' unit.
Papa!
Father!
But because they're defending, they'll take only 4 damage.
Just what we wanted.
All right, it is the top of initiative, so Telperion, you can make a change adjustment if you would like.
Brow. I'm going to move in front of Roulette. Oh, behind Toby.
Okay. You and your unit moving more quickly. You will go right after Toby. Toby, what's your unit doing?
I was just, can I get a refresher just to verify on what my speed is on the other screen? Just
Yes.
to totally double check. I feel like it's 3, but I want to just double check.
I do agree that it's 3 speed and 1 range. So you're a melee-based group, but you have some good mobility with your wild folk.
That just sucks that I didn't move more last turn because I can't do anything this turn. I'll go 1, 2, 3, and go 1, 2, and then take the defend bonus action.
Okay, so dashing and then defending.
Yeah.
Okay, and you are currently under Roulette's forces in the air. Telperion, your turn.
I'm gonna shift 1 forward.
Okay.
And I can attack and then do my other movement, I think. So
Absolutely.
I will attack the unit.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your 4d8 for your unit.
My favorite D is D8. Oh, that stupid line totally worked. 8 plus 10 is 18. Plus 7 is 25.
25 total.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
With
I rolled an
4d8.
8, a 7, a 6, and a 4.
That's really good. 25 total, and they are unable to defend. They're not
summoned
defending.
a weird entity.
That magic's gonna cost you. Jesus. And then I'll, having taunted them, I will then move 1 up, and then I will Cloak.
Okay. Bonus action cloak. You are potentially disguised. Sounds good. It will be this trebuchet unit's turn, and they will, I think, still target the aerial assaulters. That seems advantageous to what they would do. So I'm going to launch 1d10 Roulette's way. Another 9, but you're still defending, I believe. So 4. And they will defend. Roulette, it is your turn.
One over, one down, and I'm attacking.
Okay, 4d8.
Ooh!
25
Same
damage.
exact
Oh my god, it's literally what I rolled.
It is the same exact thing, and the same, damage dice rolled too, it seems like. And you see, similarly, they are unable to defend. They are not in a defensive stance right now. Okay. That it for Roulette? Any bonus action?
2 straight up this time. Bonus action defend.
Okay.
I am
Straight up?
I am 3 vertical spaces away from that ground unit.
Yes, I agree. Yes, definitely outside of their range.
Yeah, that's my turn.
It is Mathros' unit's turn. And they will...
Murder.
Not wanting to get in front of Rome's trajectory, he's just going to move 1 up. And then I do think he's going to move 1 up this way as well. So even though they're within melee range when they don't have to be, they will still begin to melee and longbows begin assaulting this unit of Durastians. And he will launch
Whip it out.
9d8.
10-minute
Against-
warning.
against a non-defended unit. That's juicy.
Correct. 39.
That's dirty.
Does this work? Yeah, it works. As the Selethar begin to sprint into that unit, intermingling with their forces to a degree, at least along the front lines, and shedding so many longbow arrows rapidly, you just see their forces begin to fall. And now that their numbers are being thinned, you can see one individual from within that unit as their commander is revealed.
Already?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had their HP wrong.
Did you have it at 100 instead of
I
225?
certainly
Yeah,
did.
that's-
I
Instead of
certainly did.
225.
That should be 225, I think.
Yep, that is correct. Thank you for the
Yeah, I was like
reminder.
50% HP already.
Yeah, that is juicy.
Oh my god, he almost told us.
And therefore,
It's
yeah, I
Ventria!
absolutely did almost tell you. Okay,
Oh, we are
so
so
now I have
far
their...
away from Athros.
I moved my initiative tracker to see the picture I knew you were about to show.
I was super about to reveal it too. Thank you for the reminder. Those units are different than I remembered. Perfect. All right, so that is Mathos' turn. They have begun to attack, and then as soon as they attack, they retreat rapidly with their cloaks over their heads and suddenly start blending into the surrounding terrain using their cloaking bonus action, taking a gamble, but hopefully not targetable. Rome, it is you and your unit's turn.
Okay. I am going to be action dashing up street. So 4 spaces.
Okay.
And then just like as a side question, is this a real space?
Yeah, you can occupy that space, but you're not going to be able to melee target the unit on top of the turret that's a little elevated from you.
Fair. I just wanted to make sure that I could occupy that space.
Yeah, you can occupy that space. That's totally fair game.
Okay, I am going to create a new cube in front with swarm.
Okay.
And that is all.
We'll do that. Okay. Moving forward and swarming. You definitely see... Well, I don't know. You have a high perception. You definitely acknowledge that the surrounding units, enemy units that you can see, are definitely like loosely acknowledging your growing forces. So you might become a threat since you're rapidly growing and without being checked. But sounds good. Swarming, movement, anything with your action. Did you dash?
I did dash.
Okay, perfect. Jiri, you're up.
2 questions. You can't move diagonally, is that correct? And then you can't attack diagonally either.
So without a range of 2, no. It's moving orthogonally determines your speed. You would need a range of 2 to attack something diagonally.
Oh, I do have a range of 2 though.
Hey.
I believe the Noras have a movement of 2. I think you have a. Oh, maybe you do also have. Yeah, you're 2 and 2.
We got crossbows.
Yep, that's true. You're 2 and 2.
All right, I will move forward 2.
Okay.
I will bonus action maneuver. And then I will action attack that group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead
Yeah.
and make an Arcana check.
Well,
Actually, Roulette, you can do this too.
yes.
One of these rolls is not like the other.
Jiri, you see this weird phenomena happening near you in the space adjacent to you, but you're not sure what it does. Roulette, you can see the snowfall slowing in that space, and you can tell that there is slow magic at play in that vicinity. So you know there is a magical, capable user of some sort in the units that are conjuring that effect. Jiri, you maneuver and you're able to attack, sending crossbow bolts. Go ahead and roll your 1d8.
Your success says
4 damage.
They will take the 4 damage because they are not defended. It is this unit's turn next. Anything else you're doing with your turn, Jiri? I think your full movement action, bonus action's used.
They got
I
four
can't,
wins on them.
I can't end my turn like in roam space. Like so part
No,
of that
you can pass
is I
through
can-
it, but not end it in.
Yep. Okay, then I will stay right there.
Okay, perfect. All right, it is that unit's turn though. And even with several threats around them, they're blocking the path of some of them. So Roulette, I still think you are their primary target.
But she is out of range.
That's true. You are too high for them to target. So you see them all look up at you and in frustration try and pick a new target. And they
Beasts
will
are pouncing at them.
they will target the growing unit of
Oh.
feral wildlife. But because of your passive wild, they don't get to attack you with 9d8. They have to attack you with 9d6.
That's really cool.
Would you like to voice something, Spen?
Steve, did you have something?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Crossbows coming your way, Rome, for 29 damage.
Wow.
Which I'll say, as part of you commanding these units, since 29 is more than 25 and then 4 will bleed over, please pick one of your existing spaces that will be lost.
I'll
Basically,
take
the one on the left or the one on the right, so that your unit's still connected.
I'll get rid of the front one.
Okay. So that unit is, unfortunately, a lot of animals are felled in that assault, and some of this unit is damaged to a degree as well. Then they will use a bonus action. Well, they haven't moved yet. They're going to move back 1 space, up 1 space, and then they're going to use the bonus action that you guys are familiar with, their press. So they're going to use a bonus action to move 1 additional space, and if anyone was in their way, they could push them back. That is their movement, bonus action, and action. So they will call it there. Now the Trebuchet group unit here will still be able to target Roulette even high in the air. So just 1d10 coming at you, Roulette.
Beautiful.
For only 3, and I think you're defending, so that is 1. Your aerial units are able to virtually entirely evade the oncoming aerial assault.
Neat.
And looks like we've got 2 minutes left in the Zoom. So,
Oh, let's call it.
well, before we call it, if you're willing to, I'll just reveal one thing. Entering the fray at initiative count 15, you hear the beating wings of multiple creatures off in the distance.
Wyverns or friends?
As a Wyvern Knight unit appears
Top
and
right.
immediately will take their turn at the top right of the map. So now we can refresh before I move them.
Hum bum bum bum.
So you guys begin to see about a dozen large mount wyverns with knights above on them. And because their commander is the same as the unit type, I'll go ahead and just blow it up just for a quick reference.
Rogan.
Knights clad, yes, knights clad in plate mail with large silvered spears begin bearing down as a dozen of them begin to move with fairly rapid pace. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bonus action 1, 2 before they're attacking, and Telperion, they will target you with a melee attack.
Perceiving, baby.
Yes, so against your perception, their ability to
What
perceive.
is the DC? I don't know.
It's always a standard 15 for
Okay.
that ability.
Neat.
I bet they're gonna roll a 3.
Oh, Christmas.
16. So although your camouflage sets in very effectively from the front, they can see enough of you from the back to target, and so they will come up to you and attack.
It's Telperion's fat ass that they could see.
But because of their custom bonus action dash momentum ability, for every space they've moved before attacking, they'll tack on +1 to their attack. So it'll be 1d8 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 they've moved so far. So 1d8 plus 6 to you, Telperion. So 10 damage to your unit, and then they will use their remaining available movement speed to move here with their available 2 slots left. And that will be their turn.
All right.
Now, it is this unit's turn. I think they're going to try and centralize a little bit. So they'll move 1. And they will bonus. No, they feel they need to defend. You guys have attacked them heavier than they expected. So they will attack Mathros' unit and then defend. Oh, well, they have to perceive Mathros because they did cloak this turn. And this individual is actually proficient in perception.
Not today.
But not enough to see.
Why?
I have no way to reach anyone else.
So since they can't find Mathros' unit, they'll move an additional space and crossbow target Rome's unit. But 96, not 98. 26 will be enough to knock down 1 more space of your unit, Rome. So you'll have to, use subsequent bonus actions to continue swarming further. But one more unit of yours is hit with some spillover damage. We're 21, 24, 22, 20. I think if my math is right, your current unit has 23 HP left. That is their turn. They will defend. And then one more trebuchet attack. But they don't know if they can perceive either the closer people to them. Oh, what's funny is, this is funny. I've made a very small thing there. By rolling the stat blocks wisdom checks, I've kind of been revealing commanders along the way, but that's not a huge deal. In the future, I will account for that. They are unable to target Telperion or Mathros, and I think they're comfortable with the damage being done to the smaller units, and they're going to target the flying unit that's still a threat.
They can
So,
reach that
roulette.
far.
Yeah, so anything within that starting line we started behind
They have
is
access to.
within their range. They have a very long range, but it's just a max of 1d10. And it takes an entire unit to operate that weaponry space. But just 1d10 coming at you, Roulette, and I think you're defending, so this won't hurt that bad. But 3 damage, I believe, to you. All right. We are back to the top of initiative. Until Period, you can make an adjustment.
Mathros before me.
Mathros before you. There we go. So be it.
So he just needs to move 1, right? Yeah, then you can sneak down.
Okay, Toby, you're up.
Your speed.
I can't attack that unit
I
next to
am
me.
indeed.
I'm too far away from me. So let's move forward. Attack.
Is there range 2?
I need to think about what is helpful. Yeah, okay. So I'll go 1, 2. They pressed. So we need to start fucking getting these dudes down. So I'm gonna shift and attack for 4d10 plus 4.
Indeed. And they did press, so they are not defending.
Ooh, the other one's not defending either then, huh?
No, the other one didn't.
The other one is defending. They did not
Oh.
press.
They didn't.
They were considering it. They were going to press, but they couldn't find the Selethar troops. They
Hot.
wanted to push back. 28 damage to this unit. Minus 28. That's such a convenient little thing. You're starting to tear into their forces. Commander's not revealed yet.
Do I want to move an extra space? Is a great question. Yes, I do. I need to get the heat off my allies, so I'm going to push forward 1 more. That's my turn.
Okay. Perfect. Mathros. The cloaks are removed, and a charging force, I think, just simply begins to attack the group right in front of them. 1, 2. Actually,
They could hit that weaker guy.
oh, but they can't do that. Their movement will be slowed. But they don't know that. Well, actually, they can't move to that space.
I can't up to him. I can't yell at a unit near me, right?
No, I mean, he's so like hundreds of feet away from you, I think, in the snow. So unfortunately, no. It's just interesting that his mobility options are so muted right now. So I think he will, trusting that his son can handle himself over there, he's going to solidify with his other allies to punch through these large
Yay,
units.
Jerry.
And he will launch an attack.
Well, because Jerry needs to latch onto this big as well.
Well, also, yeah,
9d8.
yes.
Yes, 9d8. But half, because this unit is defending. 51. That's not too shabby. So another 25 damage dealt to this group. And I believe
A 112.
that's not half yet. That's not half yet. Oh, I have them higher than 112 current. Oh,
I'm
you're
just
saying
saying that's
112
the
is the
threshold.
half. Yeah. I thought you were counting their HP. I'm like, that's not what I have their HP.
Did Daddy do it?
Daddy did not do it. They're
Oh.
not. Their commander's not revealed yet, but substantial damage dealt with that onslaught, and then he will just defend, trying to make sure he realized that while cloaked, they were redirecting damage to allies, and he wants to try and become a tank unit to some degree, so he will defend rather than cloaking. Telperion, you're up.
Fuck up those wyverns, dude.
Question about distance. Just because I if I go like this, I have a range of 3. Can I launch into the big group?
1, 2. No, that's technically 4 away.
That's what I thought, because it's like touch. Like I have to. Okay. Well then, I mean,
But
I
you're
will
still
do-
within range of the wyverns.
Yeah, I'll launch
those
at
at
the
them.
wyvern.
Okay.
You can actually forward and
Go
Well,
ahead
I'd
and
rather
roll.
just attack something now. In next action, next turn. What am I? Oh, 4d4, right?
4d8.
Sorry, I'm holding d8. I don't know why I said that. This was a 5 before I clutched it. 18 damage.
Beautiful.
18 damage.
No, 16 damage.
Okay. Well,
8 plus 8.
you see your 100 Selethar firing longbows is enough to see a couple wyverns and their riders fall to the ground, plummeting to their deaths. And their commander is revealed, which is just a slightly more well-adorned wyvern knight leading their forces. But you've taken a heavy hit of their forces, for sure.
And then I'll bonus action cloak.
Okay. Oh, and because they're actually, I forget how we did this. Because their commander's revealed and they're below the 50% threshold,
I guess
you can attack their commander. I literally don't remember how we justified this when you're 300 feet away from them. Your unit was within range, but how Telperion is able to be in range.
He flies over. He Superman.
Yeah, I do think it's like theater mind cinema. This
Yeah.
is a simple mechanic. Let's not get caught in the weeds. Yeah, flavor it however you want. You with a boost of telekinetic flight, you're able to boost over there, get a swipe in, and then return to your unit.
So do I get an action and bonus action?
You get a turn against their Wyvern Knight leader.
Sweet. As a bonus action, I will, and also like it's kind of cool to do theater of the mind because I can say things that like, well, no, I'm gonna.
Yeah, we don't need to listen to the rules until like damage mechanics are applied. Kind of like an opportunity for creativity.
I will actually.
You've got holy weapon on. Don't forget that.
That's
Oh,
true.
Just
That is
swing.
true.
Just fuck this dude up.
Swing.
I will just fuck this dude up. I'm gonna go swing, and I will psionic strike on my first hit. 2 attacks. So Mooncrest Greatsword 2 plus 10. Not 19 again. A 29 to hit.
Let me just refresh my page real quick.
Kobe, what is it? 2d6.
2d8.
It's got that. It's got that.
He also would have informed you that there's a chance it could fizzle out at some point, so maybe
Okay.
super juice this. I don't know.
This is interesting how this works, but 1929 absolutely hits. So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, so I'm rolling 2d6. If I could find 2d6.
This is super fun.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
So
it's gonna
2d6. I'm gonna psionic strike, and I'm gonna use the 2d8. So I'm rolling 2d6 and 3d8,
Plus,
and then I'll add 6 to this. No, 6, 7, 8. I'm adding 9 to this.
yeah.
As a reaction, as a lancer that is proficient in fending off approaching enemies, as you enter its reach, it'll provoke an opportunity attack from this individual, so he'll make 1 attack at you as well.
Okay.
For 23 to hit, which might probably hit.
It does. Beats 21.
Okay. So 11 piercing damage to you unless you do anything about it.
No.
Do you have shield?
Wait.
So Telperion takes 11 damage,
I
as
do
well
have
as whatever damage you're about to do to him.
I do have shield, but I don't want to use. I don't have my staff on in my hands right now. Damage. Okay, so 15 plus 10 is 25 plus 2 is 27 plus
9 is 36.
9. 36.
Fuck,
Okay.
yes.
You
And
take
then-
you carve across that fighter, the knight riding the wyvern. He does stab you, but you, I mean, hit him pretty fucking hard.
And then I don't know technically how this ability resolves in this mode, but he would have to make a strength save to go prone.
Yeah, you also
Oh.
would have your movement reduced to 0 because of his lancer sort of sentinel-esque
We'll just
feature.
ignore it.
So I'm just gonna say, yeah, let's just trigger the damage, and the specifics don't.
I also
yet.
want Loaf to give me advantage with the help action. Can he do that? That's why I summoned him.
Yeah, he can give you advantage on one of the attacks.
Can you give me advantage on this next one, or just on the next turn? Since I guess I should have
It
said
would have been. I
before
think when
turn.
the thing gives the help, I think it's the next attack. So I think it really would have been your first attack.
Okay.
So you can roll additionally to see if you crit, but I don't
Oh.
think it's.
I did not. I just rolled an 18. Okay, next attack.
Okay.
No D8, and now it's only +6. Or I'm losing one of the D8, and it's only +6. 13
And
plus
you
10.
rolled to hit on this one. Oh,
I'm
you're
rolling
doing
to
it
hit right now.
13. Okay.
23 to hit.
Absolutely hits.
Okay, 2d6, 2d8.
Plus 6, yes.
You're rolling a 1. So 18 plus 6 is 24.
You just did 60 damage on that turn.
24 damage. Dude, Holy Weapon's fucking sick.
4. Yep. That knight is, you fucked up his armor. You see some blood. Before
And
returning to
then-
your unit.
That is what I will do. So that's all.
Okay.
I'll psionic recover the side die I spent as my bonus action. Focusing as I fly back.
All right. A siege unit is launching their trebuchets in roulette. It seems like they're still aiming at your position, but as they launch, it doesn't look like they have the momentum to carry to you. And you see that they've maybe changed their target to the closest person to the gates. And Toby Rama, they will launch an attack at you.
Not defended currently.
But only 4 damage to you.
I said bonus action cloak
Oh,
before
okay,
I got
perfect.
to use Telperian's turn.
Gotcha. Deal. Okay, that is that unit's turn. Roulette, it is your unit's turn.
Down 2, over 2, attack.
Roll it. 13 damage to that unit.
They had
Minus
press.
13. They had press. They are not defended. Damage dealt.
Bonus action, defend, end of turn.
Very well. Rome, it is your unit's turn.
Alright, so I am going to bonus action to create a new unit in front of me, swarm.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attack in front of me.
Okay. Perfect. So you get there's no
2d8.
buffs to your thing. Yeah, just 2d8. Yep.
Very
11
nice.
damage to that unit. Well done.
And that's all.
You guys are definitely thinning their numbers, but they're not quite halfway yet.
You had to make a new box.
She did.
I did.
You did.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were going back to 3.
Jiri, Nora Mercenaries up.
All right, we will bonus action maneuver. We will fire our crossbows through Wild Sage Blossom,
Yes, which gives you elevation and an extra d8. Yes.
and then we'll move back to safety.
Okay. Perfect. So yeah, go ahead and launch your 2d8. I love that interaction.
Yes.
Another
Stab.
7 dealt to that unit. Got it.
That's it.
All right. In retaliation, Roulette, did you fly back up? Are you out of their range? No,
I
so
am
you
in
came
range,
down.
defending.
Okay. I do think they're gonna target you. And as their bonus action, well, I'll attack first, but okay. 9d8 coming your way, and you are defending.
Low rolls.
38 reduced to 19 for you, Roulette.
I am below 50%.
Okay, so you are revealed, and you will see their commander, as their commander, amidst the fray, spots you. And I'm not going to reveal that on map, but I'll just blow them up as you see a mage riding a dark steed, and you see that the mage armor imbued on the individual is also affecting its mount, and it's wielding a crystal ball staff. And as he twirls it in the air and targets you, Roulette, seeing you as the commander of your unit, he will cast, I think, the only thing within range, because that doesn't have the range. I think the only thing he can cast on you is a fireball. Because it's sort of one-on-one fight, it's not going to affect the rest of the forces necessarily, but please make a dex save, Roulette.
I know.
That's awesome. And I don't know if will it work this way? It will do that.
He looks so sick.
Click the 86. Fuck, man.
So Roulette, it kind of takes you by surprise. You weren't necessarily expecting a mounted mage rider, a Wraithwatch spell rider, to suddenly out of the fray target you with this ability, and it just like detonates on your person. But are you resistant to fire?
I am resistant, and I have spell sync up, so Daisy takes. Interesting.
Yeah,
Nope.
your temp hit points take. Oh, interesting.
I'm just gonna say I take 15. Daisy takes 15.
I think
We can
that's-
rules lawyer that later.
Absolutely, I like it, and I appreciate the quickness of resolving that. Yeah, for
I'll
now,
take 16. I'll take
you
16.
take some, and the temp hit points of Daisy take some.
Yeah.
Perfect. I like that. Yeah, we can figure out semantics and
Yeah.
specifics later. Super unique interaction. Then, with their bonus action, another magical effect being conjured that you see being emanated from this individual's staff, and he points in a different direction, not able to command his forces to take up defensive maneuvers, but instead, this magical effect disappears and a new one appears over here now, blocking the approaching enemies. But you notice, actually, yeah, you had a high Arcana check earlier. You're noticing as this thing shifted location, it still needs to be sort of within melee of this unit. He can't send this magical effect out anywhere, but maybe he can leave it anywhere once it's been conjured. But
Cool.
that space is now affected with magic. It is a siege unit's turn, and they will... Sorry, Roulette, you in the air is just so juicy to them. I think they're going to launch a D10 at you.
Just because they're cowards.
But because this is equipment that's happening, it's not the unit themselves attacking you, they're not going to be able to directly target you the same way as the previous unit, but 1d10 coming your way. I knew I had thought about that. And you take 1 damage. Your Auracor very adept at evading.
Does that mean
this aerial
Roulette takes
assault.
0 of it, since 50% of the damage? Doesn't that transfer over now that she's revealed?
No,
No. Different interaction. Oh, I see what you're saying.
When a commander's
because
revealed, further attacks.
Yes. Yeah, other attacks will deal half damage to Roulette, but half of 1 is 0, so no
That's
additional
what I mean.
damage right now. And they can't immediately attack her one-on-one.
Damn. I think
Okay.
I'm gonna affect you next turn.
And
I think I'm gonna affect you next turn, just so you know.
what does that mean?
Bump you up initiative.
Oh no! I want to be after Rome.
Okay.
Wyvern Knight units turn, and they will bonus action dash with their momentum feature and move 1, 2, 3, 4 before being able to attack your unit Telperion. But did you cloak? Okay, so they
Yes,
start
always.
they start making sort of a U-turn, building up their speed and momentum, but by the time they get near you, we will see if they can perceive you.
Damn
So
it.
You see that these aerial units that are on mounted beasts are
Yeah.
being able to see through the illusion so far pretty well. So they'll launch a 1d8 plus 4 against you. So 7 damage to your unit.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, and because they use their dash feature and have available movement left, they will be able to fly out of your, well, pretty much fully out of your ability to target them next turn. An additional 4 spaces. Action, bonus action, movement, they're complete.
I'd love to get out of here.
Big boy unit. You guys all hear commotion, and they're just gonna keep trying to attack the big unit. And Mathros defended. They did not cloak. So 9d8 going at Mathros. $43 reduced to 21. And Mathros's numbers are getting thinned a bit. You see it's less densely populated there, and you see some Selethar falling to the ground. So taking hits for sure. And same with Roulette. I think you're number 2. You've seen some of your fellow Aarakocra individuals that have been felled and fallen to the ground throughout this fray so far, as you guys have taken some of the most damage. Then this individual, this unit, I think we'll also target Mathros for 1d10 real quick. And Mathros' unit will take very little damage from that one. All right, Toby, your unit. Oh, and beginning of combat or beginning of initiative.
Roulette after me.
Roulette after you. Okay, perfect. Toby.
Is there any sort of idea of what would happen if I move forward into the magical effect?
You can make an Arcana check. So I've been sort of prompting people with Arcana checks as they get into melee distance with this thing. So yeah, you can make an Arcana check here.
I honestly might use a luck point on this if it's super low, but 10. I'll stay pleased with that.
Okay. You see it. You can see strange color warping going on in that general vicinity. You see, with your high perception, you see that snowflakes are falling slower in that area, but you're not sure what the magic might entail.
I would love to think it's just gonna hinder my movement, but there's also a chance it could prevent me from attacking as effectively. Because I could, if all it does is reduce a movement, I could go and attack the gates this turn.
What's your movement?
Mine's 3, so if I gave up 1 to this effect, I can move 2 forward.
I think we gotta whittle down these forces that are
I
killing
agree.
us.
Yeah, just attack and then move forward.
I will shift and attack for 4d10 plus 4.
Indeed.
15, 19, 25 plus 4 is 29.
Damn.
Why is it plus
Well
4?
done.
Oh,
My passive.
His ferality. And they were not defending because they moved some magic. So how much was that total? 29, you said?
29.
Great, does that
With
mean
that? Yep. What?
is the other big one defending then? I don't know if you said, but they didn't move magic.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Toby Rama, with that instance of damage, the numbers are thinned for you to see through the chaos enough for this commander to more officially be revealed. I'll just show up on the screen one more time because I'm proud of the photoshopping. And you see this individual clad in all black robes on a black steed with sort of arcanely purple mist-like magic emanating from them in just like a sort of particle effect of arcane protection. They are revealed, and therefore you can target them with a round of attacks.
Yeah. I'm going to try and juice a little extra damage out of this, so I will bonus action my wings out. Just for a little extra damage if and when this hits. And I will cast a
9th level guiding bolt.
I kind of want to do a 4th level inflict wounds. Yeah,
You look
4th level
psychotic.
inflict wounds. Okay.
I'm doing
So
that.
with your wings out, you banff out your wings and dive bomb this individual, getting up close enough to use your death magic. Go ahead and make the attack roll. 28's absolutely going to hit. Yeah, absolutely going to hit. So go ahead and roll your damage.
6d10 plus 4.
6d10 plus 4.
Because I upcasted by 3 more.
3d10 plus another 3d10 for the upcasting. Yeah, holy shit.
9, 13, 18, 2 more d10.
We got 10 minutes.
20, 34 necrotic damage.
34 necrotic. You see that person just like grip their face and their chest in recoil and agony as you definitely severely injured them. But then you hear them chanting in retaliation, and with a gesture of their hand, they will cast a high level, 5th level Hellish Rebuke on you.
Cool.
Gross.
Which I think 2d10, which is also 6d10 coming your way, kind of mimicking your level of damage. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as dark purple fire just is emanated toward your direction.
I'm going to spend a luck point on that.
It's a mage off.
Let me mark this off as being 0 now and re-roll that. I'm very happy with that.
Holy
Okay,
fuck.
so you will take half the damage from this purple
And I've got
fire.
12 temps gone, which is juicy.
Okay. 30, what would be 30 damage is reduced to 15 because you dodge most of it, and the temps will absorb most of that.
Okay, I assume the 15... Oh, so it's 15 damage, so temps wouldn't even weigh into this. I need to make a concentration check for Holy Weapon.
That is correct. Yeah. Just gotta beat a 10.
Nice.
Okay, you keep Telperian's Holy Weapon
I
bright.
had 12 temps, so those are gone, and I take 3 fire damage.
Okay, perfect. Holy Weapon lasts for an hour, you said, or
An
10
hour.
minutes or something? Okay, cool.
Hour.
Perfect.
And then that was action, bonus action. Yeah, I'm gonna move into the space,
Okay.
see what happens.
Please make a morale check.
I'm gonna use my airbender dice. I have +4. I rolled a natural 20 +4.
Okay, that is enough. Your movement is slowed as you enter this space, but you command your forces to heighten their resolve and continue marching onward, and you suspect on a failure, this could lock you in place the moment you
okay.
touch it. But it does not lock you in place necessarily, it just slows you, but it halves your movement. So I think you've moved 2,
I moved
so I don't think
1.
you
I moved 1, but
Okay.
I have a speed of 3. So what do I have? 1
So
left
you
to
do not.
use?
No, you do not. If you burn 2 additional movement, you can move 1 space. It's
Which is what
effectively
I have.
difficult terrain.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So I am at the gates.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Functionally, yes, yeah, you're good. Okay. That is Toby's turn. It is Mathros' turn. He's going to stay put where he's at, defending and attacking. Nothing fancy from him. He likes his position. So 98 coming at the defending unit. So half of 36 is 18. Not quite enough to reveal the commander. Very nearly so. But then he will shelter in place defensive positions. Telperion, you're up.
All right, I'm gonna start something here. Oh shit! I left myself behind.
You're still catching up from your flight attack of the Wyverns.
Exactly, and now I'm gonna launch into these guys with my arrows
And swords.
and swords.
Yes,
I mean, yeah, I'm in range now.
Technically not melee range at Catty Corner, but
Oh
yes,
yeah.
within range of longbows, 100%.
Oh,
All right,
right.
4d8.
Oh, it was bad. It was really bad.
Oh,
I rolled a 2-2-1-4. Oh my god.
Nine
9
damage.
damage.
9 total damage, reduced to 4 from a defending unit.
reveals.
Minus 4 equals 113.
No.
Not revealed. Not you're 0.5 away from
Yeah,
revealing the
cloak and
commander.
pass. Cloak and pass. Jesus.
Roulette, it is your unit's turn.
I am swinging down at the guys right below. Oh, first I need to do this from last turn.
Ooh, concentration check for something?
Nope. A -1 to my morale because I'm below 50% health.
Indeed. Thank you for remembering that. And you become, unfortunately, it is not your turn yet because morale hits like that apply immediately to initiative. And because you fell from a 20 to a 19, the 20 unit will move before you're able to.
I got pulled up by Telperion.
Which makes things so.
At the
weird and
beginning of this
complicated.
thing,
I like-
I pulled him to under me.
then that's totally okay. That's actually super fair game. So that the 19 is still ahead of the 20. Good catch.
48 attacking.
17. They are not
Damage.
defending. So that is a true 17. Hurting their forces, but more importantly, maybe allowing an opportunity for you and your steel synced flying boots form to charge their commander.
Does 8 carry over to the commander?
Indeed, it does.
Look at these nerds remembering rules.
I appreciate it.
How does things get carried over?
Because once you're
It's-
below half health, half the damage goes to the commander.
Oh.
Whole lot of D6 action happening. Bonus action, arcane weapon on my flail.
What type?
Lightning. We'll do lightning.
Love it. Love it.
So first attack with the flail. 21.
They already used their reaction against.
No, the reaction
Yeah,
thing
I
doesn't
didn't
matter
think so.
because
I
it's
didn't
been a
think
full
so.
minute since the
Right.
last unit move. So he has his reaction available. Will not use it here. You absolutely connect.
So this is the base of damage. And then 1d6 for lightning and 1d6 for force from steel sync. So
Yep.
an additional 5, 16 bludgeoning on that. Plus another 4
Perfect.
for Dragoon. So 20 total on that first swing.
20 total. This is the individual you guys have hit a lot. You see he is struggling to keep himself up on his horse right now.
Second swing,
Ghost Mighty.
14.
14 will not hit. You see it would hit, but it's the magic armor on his person. As it connects with that, it's just repelled.
I can't do anything else as a reaction because those are reactions. That's my attack. 1, 2.
Buckle your shoe.
God damn it.
I'll go one up, so it doesn't matter. That's my turn. Bonus action defend.
Bonus action defend. Got it. Okay,
Mhm.
and you are over the space that Toby's in, so not any threat of slowing. All right.
Do we want to switch?
Oh.
Yes, switch zoom. Thank you, Tim. I did the thing MK always says he does. I rejoined it so fast it was just loading and it didn't work, and I just rejoined and it worked that time.
Who's up and who's shooting at me?
Trebuchet unit. And they will be targeting you. That is true. Although at this point, man, it's tough for whether that's even worth anything, because they're not dealing much damage to you when you're defending, and you guys are approaching the gates. One, two, three, four. That doesn't benefit them much either. Okay. Yeah, they're going to stick to their trebuchet, and they are going to, this crew down here, going to launch an attack at Roulette. I think that is still their mindset. That's going to be 0 damage to Roulette's group. You're able to entirely evade their oncoming boulders.
The boulder missed.
East.
Rome, it is your unit's turn.
Okay, so I am going to use my bonus action to grow Swarm here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attack the 3d8.
Okay. 3d8, indeed.
Nice.
Beautiful.
You will deal 11 damage to the unit, and, again, perhaps more importantly, you seize an opening in their forces to attack their commander. Rome
Yep.
has a round of attacks here.
Is it 5 damage to the commander?
What?
Indeed, yes. Yep.
I am going to blight him at 4th level.
Okay.
Con save of 17.
I love it.
17? Dang.
Let's see if he survives this. Con save.
Forgot
All right, he
Half
might survive it. So half damage, 4th level blight.
Getting to use.
Go ahead, roll your 8d8.
All 8s.
46.
Wow,
Holy
that's a
fuck.
very high roll and still not quite enough to take him down. Although he literally does basically fall off his horse and then just grabs onto the mane, barely pulls himself up, and in retribution, Rome will again hellish rebuke you. So he will spend a 4th level slot for hellish rebuke. So Rome, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
He's trying to melt your form.
God
Alex,
damn.
are you getting an insult ready?
Oh yeah, do I get a bonus action as well?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Your dex save is able to dodge most of the fire, and you only take 15 fire damage from his spell.
I'm gonna make a note of that. I will change it in a second.
And you can tell he is on his last legs.
I see you're at death's door. I see you're already decomposing.
Wisdom save?
Yes. For the that
From Vicious Mockery.
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
12's a fail, so go ahead and roll. I believe it's 2d4.
Plus
Yes.
5.
No,
Wait,
no,
no, plus-
modifier.
No
Five.
modifier, but this could be enough. Okay, so here's what happens.
Oh my god.
You blight him, almost knock him off his horse. He's barely holding on as he hellish rebukes you. And then as you yell toward him, he loses focus and drops his fingers from the mane of his horse and is trampled by his horse that also then trips on his body. And falls.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You have killed their commander,
And now,
which automatically, I think,
Removes
removes their
morale.
unit from
Rome gets a +1 to morale, right?
Their
Ah,
unit
shit.
wasn't reduced to 0. Their commander was defeated.
so he has to make a morale check.
No, cannot. If the unit is defeated, the commander can make a morale check to keep the unit still can't attack, but they can still occupy locations and stuff. When the unit is killed, the unit's forces fall apart and are forced to flee and retreat.
Oh, so unit
functionally-
versus commander. I got you.
Those soldiers sort of on the screen disappear, but they either flee, sort of trying to get away from off map, maybe blending in with a nearby unit, maybe running to the gates to try and be let in, but functionally those units are no longer a threat on the battlefield.
They totally Isengard it, where like the Elder Elder Sage Blossoms like stomping the orcs as they run off,
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
and the woodland critters are like seizing on them.
Abso-fucking-lutely. So
Bombadil's
Rome,
ass.
you've bonus actioned, you've attacked with your action. Any movement now that more movement is available all of a sudden?
All right. Well, okay. Hold on a second. If I were to
Move
move,
up.
what?
You move up.
Yeah, but is that going to allow? Like, can those? I guess it doesn't really matter.
Up next, yeah.
How many? Am I allowed to move up to?
2. Yeah. Go up
One,
to
I think your
space.
movement is 2, yeah.
Which works beautifully.
I'm gonna
for-
have my animals that go over the body of that dude, the horse, like eat him.
Perfect.
Extra sustenance.
Yeah, it's middle of winter. They're hungry. They will grab a warm body on the ground.
Use his corpse to
Perfect.
grow.
Grant,
ice,
does she
you know?
get a +1 to morale for that? I don't know.
Not specifically. You get a +1 to morale for achieving victory conditions. Last time it was including defeat enemy commanders. Here it's specifically the gates are
Got
the
it.
victory conditions. But
Race
still,
between me and Toby right now.
roleplay wise, definitely a boost to morale. That's awesome.
I'm fine with
well
getting
done,
morale
Rome.
from downtime.
And Steven
Jiri, you just saw Rome's forces pretty much obliterate and disperse the unit up ahead of you. It is your unit's
Mhm.
turn.
All right, we're charging forwards with them. I'll move forward to my movement bonus action to maneuver
So good.
into here, attack the army, and then maneuver out.
Okay. Go ahead and launch your 2d8 at this army. Who were
13?
defended, but doesn't matter that much because their commander is finally revealed to
Vitria.
be another spell writer.
Eat up those Helder's Rebukes, Jerry.
So as soon
Yeah.
as you reveal the commander, Jiri, you're able to immediately get an attack in on that commander. So Jiri can go do his thing.
Nice. I'm gonna. How would my blasting him with my hydro pump work if he's riding on a horse?
Maybe it's
Wait,
kind of
almost-
similar to Telperian's situation of like sometimes the extra abilities over the course of a minute isn't going to matter because like you could knock him prone, he's just going to be able to
I
get
think
up
he's
back
trying
onto his
to
horse
knock him
over the next
prone
minute.
before he attacks.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
that's
advantage.
100% fair game. Yeah, go ahead and try that. Yeah.
All right, I will hydro pump him first.
Okay, bonus action strength save.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me refresh. There we go. Strength save. That's a fail. He will fall off his horse and be prone on the ground.
Taking 3 damage.
3 damage.
And then Jiri is going to attack him.
Dude, smite your ass off here.
Murder. Murder.
Oh, God. Oh yeah, I'm Eldritch Smiting for sure.
Nat 20. Okay, got it. Yeah, give me a total damage here.
Okay, there's gonna be some counting. Let's see.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh my god.
20
20
plus 11.
plus 11, 31. And then I'm gonna Eldritch Smite him.
That, which is 68 doubled.
68, so 12d8.
Ew!
Are you gonna one shot this, bro?
He's already done 31.
I want to see all these d8s rolled. Yes.
Jeebus.
An additional
Well,
58 damage. I'm gonna allow him to have a reaction at getting hit, but how do you kill this
Oh
individual?
my god.
Dude, Jiri, like, when he's on the ground, Jiri just, like, launches himself in the air and then, like, with Adros behind him, like, forming a shadow out of his body, they, like, both impale this guy right on the ground.
Amazing.
Imagine the shadow is actually the tree, though, Sage Blossom. Just like a giant, like, multi-pronged shadow behind you.
So you land on this commander, killing him, but in the process, as you're landing, you hear his chant, and his hellish rebuke will still trigger at being hit. So I need you to make a dex saving throw, or take some damage, but you have slain him.
E10.
That was worse.
So 27 fire damage will burst from his hands as he loses his life. And because he is killed so instantaneously, his forces lose the will to fight and retreat and flee.
Nice.
You hear, you're close, you're not really close enough, but you hear a cheer from General Mathros's troops, and just, you can tell there's an eagerness to crush forward. Well done. Anything else for Jiri?
That's it.
Are the magical effects removed as well?
That is a great point. They absolutely are.
Dude,
And
what a
that'll do
great
it for
round.
Jiri. It will be this
didn't even
trebuchet
swing
unit's
twice.
turn. What do we want to do here? All right, here's what's going to happen. This unit is going to abandon their trebuchet,
Oh fuck.
and they're going to move one space.
And jump.
I considered that. But with their crossbows, they're within range to hit Roulette's unit. And I think they're going to target your unit, Roulette, and therefore deal some damage to you innately, and then get a chance for their commander to go attack you. So 1d8 coming your way. Seven. Are you currently defending?
I have been defending the entire time, yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because I guess your spear casting hasn't really been tactically advantageous this time. Okay, so 7. Your unit takes 3, and you take 1 personal damage.
Personal damage?
But you do see. I'll flavor this as with range, but it's still like sort of theater of the mind vibes for how he reaches you. But you will finally see this commander, who is a Wraithwatch Reaver, not a knight.
Ugh.
And so, as these crossbow bolts are being launched toward you, Roulette, this individual will, from his side, reach to his arsenal of metallic weapons at his side, and he will action throw 2 hand axes and action surge and throw 2 more hand axes.
Jesus.
Amazing.
So 4 hand axes coming at you, Roulette, from a Reaver. Well, specifically tomahawks. All right.
I will just say I will preemptively shield for like all 4 attacks.
Okay.
So
Okay, that's totally fair game.
so 26 is my AC at the moment.
Trying to think if there's anything crazy
That's
that
so
happens
sick.
here. All right, 1. That's
Maybe
a
you
miss.
should make the eye holes larger.
2. 22.
26 is my AC.
You're at 26. Holy shit. That's a miss too. And that's a miss.
Hellish Rebuke.
Does that work? I think you have to
No,
be
I don't
hit,
have that. I
but-
don't have that. I
Oh,
don't
okay,
have
okay. Yeah,
And
that's funny.
reaction
Yeah,
shenanigans.
so to paint us a word picture, what happens as this guy just savagely launches 4 tomahawks in your direction?
I imagine that like Daisy's exoskeleton arms like temporarily release from me as I cast shield, and like my arms are here, but the arms come out.
Machamp wise, like block
Yeah,
additional.
yeah, they just,
Oh
like,
my
They
god,
form a
that's
cage
cool.
around me.
That's sick. Very cool. Okay. Unsuccessful in their attempt to injure you, barely hitting your unit. That's their turn. Wyvern unit.
Bitch made.
There's commotion, conversation, yelling taking place over here. And the Wyvern unit's going to adjust its strategy a bit. Just enough movement to get to your group roulette. They will bonus action dash,
They are
build up
relentless.
Jesus.
build up 8 spaces of momentum and hit your group roulette for 1d8 plus 8.
Critter, are you mad at Steve?
Apparently.
It's you guys have the flying and it's what they can reach. 15 to your unit,
7.
and then this Wyvern, yes, reduced to 7. 3 to roulette herself,
Yeah.
and then this Wyvern Knight will make 2 attacks at you.
I will
Roulette.
shield again.
You're welcome to do
Those
so.
don't have to.
I have 7 spell slots to use, and I
I
may
don't
as
think
well.
we're gonna need many combats the rest of this day or anything. So
We got this. 21. They
Nope.
just glance past you and they will try with a second hit, but man, your AC with shield is almost impenetrable. But because their momentum feature only applies to the first it's the first hit on a turn. So their momentum will still apply since they missed you with the first hit. So this will deal 14 damage plus, we'll keep it within the mechanic of warfare. 14 plus 8, so 22 damage with that strike.
Thank you.
But otherwise, they have to park it in place there, can't move anymore, trying to desperately fend off the people closest to their gate. And then a trebuchet will launch toward. They see a large treant marching toward a gate-like structure. They're going to launch a trebuchet at Rome's swarm. So just 1d10, but it becomes, well, it's kind of, yeah, we'll keep the benefit in place. It becomes a 1d8 because of your wild feature. 5 damage to your group, Rome. And
5
then it
damage
is,
to you, Alex.
Okay, I am going to move down 1. and then-
I don't think
Fire.
it's your turn yet.
Oh,
You're
I'm
just
sorry. I
getting
thought you were
attacked.
prompting my turn.
No, sorry, you just took a trebuchet launched at you for 5 damage. So minimal damage.
All right, I'll just
Um,
keep adding to this.
Your
then.
turn will be coming up here shortly, though.
Yeah.
Toby, you currently.
Telperion, any changes?
I'll leave it. Wait, yeah, I'll leave.
I guess you could pull someone up. You could pull Rome or
I want to go
Jerry
before
up.
my dad, though.
You are going for your dad, right?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Really, because I think
You don't always have to pull your people to you. You can move 2 people
Yeah.
too, so you can move above your dad if you want to.
I'll go in front of him.
Boom. Done deal.
Oh, that's smart.
Alrighty.
Alright. Toby.
I'm going to let me know if this is not proper, but I was going to go 1, 2, try and clear up, but I still want to attack the gates.
You're able to do
This is where
that.
I was.
Yeah, you're able to do that.
Okay. I'll shift. I'll shift and do 4d10 plus 4.
Indeed.
Is 8 plus 10 plus 5, 23, plus
23.
4, 27.
as your forces, 27 total, as you see your forces trying to batter into this thing, you get the understanding that this heavily reinforced gate is kind of permanently under the defend action or bonus action. But you deal substantial damage to it.
That's it.
And that will be your attack. Did you shift for that as well?
I sure did.
Okay.
Then don't forget you
Because
can-
no one is wanting to
Or-
target me, so I'll just be
so
fine
you
with
Yep.
it. Defending.
Yep. Perfect. Okay, Telperion, you're up.
All right, we're gonna do a boring 10 and dash. So 1, 2, 3, 4 this way?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then bonus action cloak.
You are under the cloaking condition.
Kobe, did you attack the door?
I did attack the door.
He did. It took damage.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. Oh, you're rolling in person.
Correct.
Maythros's team will
Charge the gates.
Yeah, I think so. One, 2, 3, 4, and also cloak, mimicking his son's strategy and trampling the corpse of the enemy commander. That is their turn. Roulette, you are up.
Defend.
23 damage. And defend 23, reduced by half because this thing. But you can see substantial damage taking place to this gate, and you think it's on the verge of collapse.
Get it, Rome.
Did you attack the Laverne?
I'm gonna back up 2 spaces.
Oh yeah, you were attacking the gate, yes, not the wyvern.
The gate. The gate.
Yeah,
Yes.
yep.
Sorry. I am going to back up 2 spaces. Hell, 3. I'll go over. No, 2. I'll go over here. Stay close to him. That's my turn.
They're not having any success hitting the Auracor. I think even with the approaching Treant, they are going to abandon their siege equipment
Hit me.
and level crossbows downward over the edge of the turret edge and target Toby Rama for 1d8. And that is it. Wow. 2 damage to your unit, Toby.
That's the 3rd time I've been targeted this whole thing. I've
Very
been
nice.
sneaking by.
Rome, your squad's turn.
All right, I'm gonna move over 1, down 1.
Okay,
It would have worked
unfortunately.
the other way. It would have worked
Down.
the other way.
Yeah, down, forward. Other way around.
Oh,
Forward,
yeah.
one down.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Left, then down.
Yeah.
My
that's
bad.
all good.
And then I'm gonna use my bonus action to build 1 here.
Very well done. Very well done. That's
Patrick!
impressive. That was a very impressive move. Movement, bonus action,
Thank you.
attack.
Yes, I will be attacking the gate with Wild Sage Blossom.
Go ahead and roll 4d8 because it's still your unit's damage, which is now boosted to 4d8, and then double it. So if you want, you can roll 8d8.
88.
I wonder
Smash
if people have done math about is it better to double the results or double the dice? But that's hot.
Double their dice is just more fun to me.
One gate is destroyed,
Yes.
and immediately you see an additional set of reinforcements from within that can
fine.
immediately enter the fray and make their turn will functionally be next, as they're sort of all holding their action or turn. So we're gonna add them to the thing. We're gonna put them as same as Rome's initiative and just move them directly after. Rome, does that complete your turn? Movement, bonus action, action.
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
This group will move forward. Actually, they're going to stay where they are. No real reason to move forward. And they will just launch crossbows at you, Rome.
No.
4d8 coming your way.
Is this going against my like
Force critters.
me or the army?
Your force critters.
Wait, there's-
Your general unit so far. So 24 damage, which I think is not technically enough to even reduce any of your things. Oh, actually,
You lose one. 'cause
actually-
you're 18.
yeah, you do lose one. So you can pick which space you want to lose.
I'll lose this one.
Mm-hmm.
It
That
did
front
its
one.
job.
So
It's
they,
so
they
weird.
level their crossbows and fire, and 6 damage will carry over. So really, you can update. You don't have to do this. It probably won't end up
19.
mattering. Yeah, 19 instead of 18 on that space. Perfect. That is their turn. They will bonus action defend. Jiri, you're up.
All right. The Noras will maneuver into the woodland creatures. They're gonna climb up on top of Wild Sage Blossom to get some advantage against the. Why don't we take down the Wyvern Riders?
Perfect. Let me move this, bring to front. I'm going to attach Sage Blossom over here just for convenience. Okay. You maneuver, climb up Sage Blossom, and start firing. Go ahead and roll your 2d8.
7.
That will almost be enough to defeat the unit, but there's still a couple straggler wyverns. However, you earn the right to go attack that wyvern rider.
Oh yeah, same thing. I'm gonna. Can I hydro pump him? Try to get advantage.
Yes. Yeah. Strength save.
Because you can be prone on a mount. You can be like, you're
think
like
technically
sideways
if-
on the mount.
Yeah. Cinematically, yes. In mechanics, I think if you're prone while you're riding, you fall off. But yes. Okay, let's go strength save. See if that works. It will work. So you paint us a picture of what happens. But he falls.
Jury flies up, blasts him right in the side of the head, and he goes sideways, and then he's gonna attack him.
Perfect. Absolutely advantage. And because you did that first, his opportunity attack will have disadvantage from prone. Okay, so you are going to hit with a 21. He will have disadvantage on his thing. 15 ain't going to do it, I don't think.
Nope.
So he misses you, and you evade his lance strike, and you deal 20 damage to him.
How's he looking?
He's looking rough, but he's up. Actually, Telperion had done a lot of damage to him. He's looking really rough. He's pretty low.
All right, I'll attack one more time.
27. How much damage?
20, and this doesn't kill him. I will. And no, that's it. I'm just gonna attack him.
Okay. You just let the damage be the damage. How do you kill their commander?
Yeah. Let's
Go, Jerry.
swoop up from behind him and like impale him on my sword, and then like throw him off to the ground, and then like
Wilhelm
fly away.
screams as he falls.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Their
Fly
unit
back to
and
Wild
the
Sage Blossom.
commander is slain, falls to the ground. Perfect. All right. It will be this group's turn, who have abandoned their equipment, not within range to actually damage anyone. So they will reoccupy their equipment and launch 1d10 at Toby's, I think, the closest to the gate. So 1d10 coming at you, Tobe.
Stop right now.
Woof.
Ooh, good roll.
Wow.
10 to you, your squad. Wraithwatch group doesn't get to go. This group will see if they can perceive either of the elven squads.
Dad, I'm better than at hiding than you.
First perception check for you, second for your dad. Nat 20
Never
on
mind.
you, 17 on your dad. They can target both. I think they're going to target the people closer. And similarly, I think they're going to abandon their siege equipment and target you with crossbows.
10-minute warning.
Actually, your forces are undamaged enough where I think they're just still going to choose the higher damage option. So launching a trebuchet 1d10 at you, Telperion. 8 damage to you, your group.
Puts me at 75, I think.
Yes, it does.
All right, that's it for them. Toby, Rama, it would be your turn. Telperion, any adjustments?
I want to go before. No, I want my dad to go before me this turn. Wait, can he? Logistical question: can he move forward with
Yes.
this? Okay.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, those
I
are
want him to go
mostly available. So,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll have him go first. Before me.
perfect. All right, Toby, your turn.
I will play defense here. Move 2 and just do some normal attacks for 4d8 plus 4.
The other can't move in though if you do that, right?
Yeah, but we just need to break the gate to win. The other gate up north. That's our victory condition. So, like, I'm just taking space right now. 5, 13, 14 plus 4, 18 damage.
18 to them will be halved because they defended. Alrighty. You have attacked.
I'll move down one.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah,
Preventing
shooting your
them from
allies a
moving, but
little
letting us
and giving.
get in.
Yeah, some of you guys can reach there. Okay. Mathros and crew will move forward.
Break down the gates.
They'll move into melee, or well, I guess one space back. But start hacking and slashing and launching longbows, and they will roll their damage. It's been a while since I rolled 98. Dealing 20 damage to the door. All right. And then they'll just defend, not even cloaking. Telperion, your turn.
All right, my turn. I'm gonna
Win
move
the
forward,
battle.
move forward and attack.
All right, go for it. Roll your 48. Against the unit up top or against
door.
Okay, perfect.
So 17.
17. All right. Your longbows thud into damaging the wooden reinforced gate, but not destroying it. Yeah.
I'll cloak my bonus action and turn.
Oh shit. Oh man. Delete. Delete. Grab. All right. You are cloaking. Roulette, your turn.
1, 2, 3, 4. Shooting at the. I almost
Do
called
it.
the Talon. What is he? He's a Reaver.
Yes, one of the Wraithwatch. Formidable commander and officer, but certainly not the level of Talon. 17. Were they defending?
They didn't say anything for their bonus
They didn't
action,
say
they just
anything, but
launched.
by default, they didn't use any other bonus actions, so they would have been defending. So you deal damage to that unit for sure.
Bonus action, defend, and that's my turn.
That is that. Even with that strike defending, almost dealt half damage, or got them down to 50%. It is Trebuchet group. Hit Toby. And 1d10.
Reduced to 1.
Indeed. That's a yikes.
That's a yikes.
Rome, your unit's turn.
All right. So I can't move. The only
Do the same thing. Move forward and then make a new unit.
I
I'm
guess
up in the air. Don't forget. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. No, never mind. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move over one and then make another.
Perfect.
What's it called right here?
Yep, you are able
And
to
I'm
do
able to
so.
attack. I'm able to attack them because
Yep.
the gate's down. Okay, so I attack
Absolutely.
them for 4d8.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll. They are defending and will take half, but a nice chunk. Very well. You start tearing into them, your wildlife and siege, treant, etc. It will be that unit's turn who... Man, hard to target. A bunch of wildlife, wild folk, and actual animals. I think they're generally, for sort of xenophobic reasons, a little more scared of the army of wild folk than the actual animals. So I think they're going to target Toby's group with 4d8 coming at you, Toby.
I'm not going to get +4 anymore. It's going to become +3 for 10.
Yep, for 10 total damage.
For 69 HP. Nice.
Jesus.
Nice.
Very nice. And yes, your ferality is reduced a little bit in its potency. They will defend. Jiri.
All right. Move forward one. Maneuver. Get up in Wild Sage Blossom. I'm imagining I'm like level with the
Yeah,
the
that's
wall
that's
here, and I'm gonna
interesting.
fire
Yeah. Yep.
across.
That's
to
cool. Very cool. Yeah, crossbow at the unit there. Yep, that's cool. Go ahead and
cool.
roll your 2d8.
Come on. There we go.
4,
8.
12. Oh, I don't think that technically...
-4 because they were defending. They are 0.5 away from being at 50%.
No.
So you don't reveal their commander, even though you guys now know it's a Reaver who attacked Roulette, but... Cool.
No, hop down.
Okay. It is that Reaver's turn, and you see them sort of turn crossbows in your way, but then you hop down out of sight, and the Reaver will once again set sights on the frustrating aerial martial person he couldn't
They're
damage
just
earlier.
spiteful at this point.
They are, and as a minute has gone by, he was able to grab some additional weapon resupply near them. So he has 2 more hand axes because he can't action surge again, but he will throw 2 hand axes at you, Roulette.
Well, 1d8 first or 10 first for the unit attack.
Yeah,
Right?
yes, of course, that's very true. And
Does it have to
yes.
be a melee to proc things, or can it be a trebuchet?
No. Well, yeah, okay, that's what I was trying to think of. That's absolutely correct. So they have to use their crossbows for the unit to actually attack you, rather than the equipment doing it. So 1d8 coming at you, Roulette. I think you were defending though, so 4,
All I do.
2 to Roulette, and then 2 hand axes being thrown at you by the Reaver.
Shield.
Gotta beat a 26.
Yeah, this isn't gonna go well.
Wait for that nat 20.
1,
Oh,
25, just barely misses, and both will miss. You hear like a battle cry from that individual, just enraged.
Hit him.
Yeah.
This guy.
Switch.
Oh, switch.
Oh, yep, good call.
Shooby-dee-doo.
Brett, how's the door in front of me and Mathros looking?
Closed.
It is looking, I would say, heavily damaged.
Okay.
Pull me up before you so I can.
Trebuchet at Mathros, because they can't immediately perceive Telperion, so they're not even going to try. They're just going to launch it at the unit that's threatening the gate most directly, which isn't that effective, but keeping it simple.
Keep it simple.
And that'll be a 0.
Go on it, Selithal.
Their cannons go long and just are a little off target, and the Selithar easily evade. That's it. Bonus action defend. Toby. And / Telperion adjustments.
I'm gonna go in front of my father.
You want to steal that morale bonus?
Shit.
Absolutely, I do. That's why I went second last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I resolved that with Rome, but
Rome got
Rome,
a
because you got permanent +1 to your morale since you were the one that took down the gate.
What?
Which immediately affects your initiative, bumping you from an 18 to a 19, but more importantly, maybe it's a permanent buff to your morale score. Toby.
Shift attack for 4d10 plus 3.
Indeed.
9 plus 10 plus 3 plus 8 is a lot. 20, that's 30. Plus 3, 33.
Very well done. Reduced to 16 for defending enemy.
And I'll
They're
stay right
below
there.
3. You're whittling down their numbers, but not thinning them to the point of half yet. Telperion.
All right, we're gonna swing at this door.
Do it.
All ones.
All bad, all bad. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Reduced to 6.
That's it, I think? I don't know.
I should have let him go first. It doesn't matter. I just rolled
You might
bad
have-
twice in
yeah,
a row.
whatever.
Your dad's gonna shoot at you for disappointing.
It does not break the door, but you can see it's, it's fairly low.
And PC gets the boost. Bonus action cloak, end turn.
I also think Rome's treant attack last time sort of may have misled you guys on what the HP of those.
Oh, I forgot
doors
about that.
is.
Yeah.
But point being,
Attack that.
yeah, it's looking rough. You guys are going to break through it soon, but it's not on its last legs yet. Okay, that your attack, Telperion cloak.
Yeah.
A door with legs.
I
That's
don't
okay.
want to steal this from you guys, but I think Mathros is going to attack the gate.
I mean, I
Anything
had
else
2
you could
chances
do,
to
Cole?
try to steal it from him. Well,
Yeah, I think he's going to attack it. It's still permanently under the defend thing. He might not be able to fully take it down, but we'll see.
If he got 9 ones and reduced it to 4.
roll low, daddy.
Yeah, I think he can afford to roll higher than that, and it still is. There's a real chance he doesn't take it down, but I feel like it's a 50-50 shot.
Not to roll like that.
That's a really strong attack for 23 damage is enough. And as the combined forces of the Selithar units over there just overwhelm the gates, the gate is destroyed, and you see a very fearful reinforcement squad of Durast, terrified, start to load crossbows as you guys just rush in, because by the time the victory conditions have been met, you guys are going to overwhelm their available forces. You guys are successful here.
What?
You guys are welcome to, if you want, paint a quick cinematic picture cohesively or cooperatively on what this looks like as you enter this stronghold and just decimate their forces, force them to flee, etc.
I think Rome's creatures and my beast folk shifting into their more animalistic forms kind of just like really just mow through and carve a path, letting everyone else get a chance in, at least on our side.
Oh, and I'm imagining Wild Sage Blossom like grabs onto the side of the wall, and he's like trying to do like a pull up to get over it, and then like the Nora mercenaries are like climbing up him to get like on top of the walls to like finish off this group over here.
Love that. Then, just because commanders are revealed as part of this, just the additional knights and the Reaver, there's 4 available commanders here So as Mathros goes into tactical mode, sectioning off spaces, trying to manage positioning, will grant each of you the opportunity to describe how you kill one of their commanders.
Oh, can I go first?
Absolutely.
I want to, and because you're telling me I can do it, I'm gonna cast Cortex Warp on another Reaver, and it's gonna work this time because he's almost dead.
So what happens this time? Last time it was fought off, but what happens when a successful Cortex Warp happens?
I imagine I go to swing at him and he's ready to defend, but I just like drop my flail at the last second and I just like cast it as I'm like flying by him. And his eyes just like glaze over white as I do it, and I whisper, "Fight for me, friend," or something like that. And he just takes another 2 axes from his box of axes. And he just like in my mind, he turns around, faces away from me, and just like and just like jumps off and like goes on a killing spree until he dies.
Perfect. Yeah, you see him tearing into his own forces before, in their defense, he is eventually slain, but took out 20 people along the way.
That's cool.
Very cool. The Reaver has been felled by Roulette. Who wants to go next? You each have a Durastian Knight to kill.
I think Toby and his lot would have gotten up here quick by like mowing through, coming this way, and Toby would have done a Spirit Guardians, and just spirits of the dead and Silvery Mist are like restraining and seeping away life from these soldiers and the commander, making it easy for the beast folk to just rend them to pieces.
Very awesome. Almost like ethereal hands from reaching through the veil of death are just restraining them enough to hold them in place before they're whisked away as those individuals are slain. Very well done. Durastian Knight slain. Who's next?
Rome would be moving forward to go after this one right here. And she would cone of cold him, and then like predator attack,
Cone of
like
cold.
animals coming like forward and like consume the body.
So, dude, Cone of Cold, because you have taken on the Arctic form of your
Yeah.
power. Very cool. So you just like siphon the shifting of the falling snow, just like changes direction like a torrent around you as you do your magic.
It's like a
It's
blizzard.
super cool.
Like raccoons and bears, like eat him.
They come
Like
and
a
like
possum.
eat the birds and eat.
Amazing. Who we got left? Telperion?
Yeah.
Or Jiri.
You can go first, Delviran.
I have this cool idea cinematographically, where Telperion's here and he uses some like telekinetic movements to like launch up some Selethar, and like I'm picturing they have each a rope, and then it pulls up. They pull up another Selethar. So there's this moment where just elves and they all wait, and at the same time they flip over the edge. And then Telperion comes up like psionically and then flying, hurls his javelin at this dude, so lightning just like eats through him as his forces are being swept away. And then Telperion comes in and just is like a hurricane of like his blade just in a circle through this toasted
At
dude.
that point, I'll detonate Holy Weapon and
Yeah.
make it more of a
As you
spectacle.
land in superhero landing, a detonation of radiance just incinerates anything left of their flesh after the kill. Fuck yeah. Jiri?
Jiri gets up on top of the walls here, and I'm imagining he like finds a way to get down and behind this group of them, and he like lines them all up and like electrocutes all of them at once with his like hyper spark through all of them.
As you do so, you just feel your patron assisting you, and the coloration of your lightning sort of splits off in various colors of magenta and plasma blue and pink and tints of amber, and all the terrible colors you've seen in your internal mind storm are unleashed on all of these people. Fuck yeah.
Or wind style, baby.
Trying to find a come down song.
Twin Elves.
Twin Elms. Twin Elms feels like too slow.
Kaer Morhen is amazing. You were playing that earlier. It's my
Yeah, that's
favorite.
true. We'll go back to Kaer Morhen. That's great. In the aftermath of the absolute massacre that appeared here, you guys are forced to almost settle in your excitement and confidence and glory, because you did lose people along the way. Some of your forces were pretty seriously injured at some points. Some wildlife that maybe aren't as personally connected to some of you, but certainly to Rome, and then a number of Aarakocra, and I believe a good number of Selethar along the way too. You guys definitely took some hits in this battle, and therefore, functionally, that could alter the size of these units available for the next assault, unless the nearby Ultha Glamorin elves to the south border are able to send reinforcements up from the forest quickly. But we'll tackle that next time. For now, you guys are able to, as your army of still several hundred people, are able to help clear away the dead, clear a space for your use. No stragglers were able to get away from this conflict, and seemingly, as long as nearby scouts from Senek aren't able to see what happened at the Cenetian Pass in the next 12 hours or so, you guys are going to be able to encamp here for the night and set out in the morning before anyone's the wiser. A very successful. Yeah, you're able to loot everyone, but mass scale looting is definitely like scrap metals and weapons are repurposed for the use by the United Kin Army. You guys will get your pay month by month, but looting on a mass scale is just definitely handled differently. Otherwise, you're able to start the encampment process before thinking about moving on the next morning. Yeah, what'd you have, Toby?
I will end up using the rest of my spell slots to get people back from the brink, save whatever amount of soldiers I can, spare the dying on people who had almost passed on, and just be focused on.
Yeah, we'll say your services are certainly useful. Some people are at the end of their consciousness, and you're able to pause that process and save some, but many are lost and too long ago, minutes wise, for you to be able to even revivify people. And certainly you don't have endless resources to do so. So there are definitely some significant casualties, but otherwise you guys were very successful in this endeavor, and can encamp here for the night, regroup, and set out tomorrow. And I think that'll probably do it for this session, unless there's conversations, other things you guys are interested in resolving, but otherwise we'll tackle the back half of your journey next session.
What's the other term for like battlefield medicine? Like there's a term I'm trying to think of.
There's definitely medics is like classic.
Medic.
Like, infirmary is like a group that like usually you'll go to the infirmary tent for patch ups. I don't know.
If my dad told us that strategy about the Oath of Glamdring, or if that's their name, I would use the message in the spell book to tell Minerva to direct our mother to push them to send reinforcements if possible.
Yeah, so just showing it on screen a little bit here. The Oath of Glamorin are the closest to this location, but them getting around Senek might be tricky. Another option might be the Esgalring or Tirlutha elves, maybe facilitating some resupply and reinforcements as you continue the latter half of your journey. But until then, you guys are able to tend to any wounds you may have suffered. Yeah, kind of all I got for today.
Wounds.
The only damage I took was Toby's damage, or I lost your max HP.
Right.
Oh, nice.
Can I just long rest it off?
Yes.
Yeah, all of you guys can trigger a long rest for sure. There's another thing I wanted to instigate, but not yet. So, perfect.
You want to talk about next week?
Yeah, go ahead and long rest. We can talk about next week. I also want to reward inspiration to someone. A lot of you guys did awesome fucking stuff today, so I just want to think through it a little bit. But yeah, what next week wise? What do we got?
Next week is the 10th.
I've got nothing going on that I am aware of.
11 a.m.
I don't. Something about the 10th. Oh, that's what it is. So this is hopefully won't affect anything. Mary and I are going home for a friend's birthday thing next Saturday and driving back early in the morning on Sunday. We're planning on like being on the road at like 6 or 7, which puts us back in Kansas City in the 10 to 11 time frame. If we're able to push to a noon start time, that would just buy me a little flexibility, but I might be able to hit 11.
I don't know that you have to push yourself.
Works for whatever.
Why don't we just plan on 12 that way?
Yeah,
you guys are, which would be 1 o'clock Eastern. But yeah, noon Central. If everyone's cool with noon Central, 1 Eastern, that's a great spot to plan on.
Sweet.
Cool. Thanks for the flexibility. Cool. Inspiration. You all did dope shit.
Well, let
today.
us talk about. We'll talk about our roses and thorns while you think.
Yeah, do that.
Did anyone have a rose or a thorn?
I'd actually say like a huge rose was like I think we were really efficient with our turns. Like we got so many turns in. I feel like this.
I agree.
I don't know if it was just like a function of the way that this sort of combat works, or what. But I felt like we were very efficient, which was cool.
I agree, and everyone moved pretty quickly through their turns. It was their turn; they had a thing they wanted to do, and then we move on and gave everyone more frequent turns. Yeah, I totally agree with that. That was awesome.
Tim, do you have a rose or a thorn?
Still thinking.
Or MK? Or roulette?
Thorn would be my spear casting, which is just it's not gonna like I gotta find a new way to use it because they weren't advancing during spear casting isn't a thing to line up. It's interesting.
Yeah, that was a unintended thing I learned there too. Is like, oh, when they're sort of sheltering in place and not trying to move, spear casting innately becomes less advantageous.
It made it easier knowing you need to just defend every turn.
This is sort of a thorn, but it's more just like, do we want to try and find a more simple solution? Is morale changes immediately reflect an initiative, but when we start moving initiatives around, the numbers aren't as important, and so I feel like there's a lot of opportunity there to get hung up in trying. I think there was one instance, and I think you were just like, oh, she got pulled up, she's going to stay up there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that is a large enough concern to have anything done with.
Maybe we should actually start changing the numbers when the people get moved.
No, I don't agree with that.
Like setting it to the person.
Yeah, changing a 16 to a 20. I actually don't know that I like that. But maybe that's valid.
I think literally like the only hiccup in that whole thing that
my thought with that is that's a super valid point to bring up, but I also think that sticky situation is going to happen like once or twice ever per warfare, and so I'm not sure I want to put time into trying to game design solve that for a very minimal thing that we resolve very quickly too.
Yep.
But super valid though. I don't want to be dismissive of it, but I'm not worried about it yet. Changing the actual initiative numbers is interesting. I need to think about that more.
My rose was having tactician.
Tactician's awesome.
It's just so fun. Sometimes it feels like a little extra turn because it's just like I got to do something when I normally wouldn't get to do something.
Yeah. I didn't necessarily think it would happen. I was kind of bummed I didn't get to sort of showcase General Mathros a little bit more, but that's okay. You guys are the main characters, but I was also interested in, hey, if I get a spot, and it could happen in a future conflict or more zoomed in exploration stuff, depending on how things go, Mathros might get a chance to shine too. But
I want to see him.
what was I gonna say? Oh, Chris, I need to argue a rule with you about mounted combat. So you can be knocked
Okay.
prone when you're on your mount. And what actually happens is you're forced to make a dex save to stay on your mount. And even if you are
Oh.
successful with your dex save, you're still technically prone. It's like you're like barely holding on to your mount like sideways is how it works.
But under the prone
Interesting.
condition.
Yep, so you're still prone, but it's really bad if you're mounted because you have the opportunity to fall off. I think it's like a DC 10 dex save.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, DC 10, or else you fall.
Yes. So it's treated the same. In my simplified rules, just for my own reading comprehension, just to make things easier, align with that. It's anything that moves a mount against its will, or knocks it prone is kind of included in that umbrella. Yeah, you got to do that DC 10 dex save to prevent falling off your mount. But I can see that, okay, you can be knocked prone and stay on your mount. Okay, cool.
What I like to imagine is like you're kind of like halfway in your saddle. You know what I mean? You're like
Accidental
hanging
side
off.
saddle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, cool.
But my rose was definitely Eldritch Smite. It's a pretty sick ability,
nuts.
especially on a
That was
critical hit.
nuts.
So
89 damage.
Is that an ability or a spell?
that is
Both.
an invocation.
Both, kind of. Yeah, it's an invocation, but he has to use it. It's a paladin. It's like a way for hexblades or warlocks to get paladin smites, because he still has to use a spell slot for it. But because
Oh,
warlocks have
God.
limited high level spell slots, you automatically use this like
Yeah.
massive amount of damage for it. That was
That's-
crazy.
Yeah, it's always a 68, but when you crit, So
12d8.
saving it for a
Yeah.
critical hit is just
Yeah, super
too much
smart.
fun.
And what I'd like to mention is, now that you guys have like seen them, you've seen all the 4 types of Wraithwatch individuals now. There's the Reaver, sort of brute. There's the Deadeye assassin. There's a Wyvern Knight, who's self-explanatory, and then Spell Riders, which are mounted
So
mages.
Evil
And
Gandalf.
and I just want to represent the fact that Wraithwatch individuals are no pushovers, and you
I mean, they were
one-shot a
using
Wraithwatch.
spells.
Like,
They were
that's
using fifth level
crazy.
spells, so
Yeah.
I felt the power of them. It's just the nature of that is we get a turn, they don't get a
Yeah.
turn. All they got.
And
to
part of
do
it's because it's a
was-
mage, which innately has a little bit less hit points than some other individuals, but you one-shot a Wraithwatch person. That's kind of crazy.
Go Jerry.
Yeah.
I am thinking about awarding inspiration to Rome, because
Very
that
well
one
adapted.
that
Tetris.
one turn was a beautiful culmination of, not only are you paying attention so closely to the rules and structure of this warfare thing we're all trying, you used it so effectively, bonus action to space, attacked with your treant individual that you have previously conjured for this purpose. Like, that was such a pinnacly perfect moment that I'm like, that deserves the inspiration, I think.
I like the ice vibe of Rome too. That she's
That is
yeah.
also super cool.
Winter Rome.
Yeah.
Oh, Rome. Rome. Is that what it is? Rhyme is what
Rhyme. Yeah.
Roman rhyme.
It's Rhyme Rome.
We didn't even get to see my scorpion yet, so that's coming.
Yeah, I'm curious what you're gonna do with that, but you're able to find a scorpion.
I am so excited.
His name
I
is
want a
Mouse
pet,
Cute.
man. I'm petless. I'm the only one. Telperian's got 2. Jerry's can summon
2.
a second.
You-
Someone get this
I like
boy a
3.
hamster.
Use Guardian of Faith and just conjure
They stand still forever.
that Deva
They stand
individual.
still for
Yeah.
8 hours.
Who has 3? Roulette?
No, I don't know how many Roulette has.
I have
heard-
one. I have one technically right now because my
Rome has an
in the
infinite
ring.
amount.
but yeah.
Just constantly summoning.
You want a pet? I'll get you a pet.
Ah! She said threateningly.
Oh, I'll fucking give you a pet.
I'll give you a pet.
I like how Archie and Griff are in the same
Getting a
situation
pet.
right
There's
now.
a skunk.
Oh, love it. Cool. I gotta pee, and we're doing dinner. So
Same.
thanks, guys. Good stuff.
Bye, y'all.
Inspo to Rome.
Oh.
Archie.